Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Paper Dungeons tonight. We have episode 32. We're very excited to be streaming tonight. But we do have a few quick announcements to get to before. There you go, Drew. Before we get started,
I forgot that my it wasn't flipped on.
Dog, I just thought that you were throwing gang signs. I didn't know what was going on. I was
Absolutely.
like, holy cow, Drew, that's coming on a little strong.
We are going to go ahead, and I think we'll have Drew start since he's throwing up gang signs. We'll just have him go ahead and just hop right into it.
Hi guys, welcome to the Paper Dungeon here on Twitch Monday nights, streaming live. If you're watching this live,
You didn't know tonight's a Monday.
If you enjoy the content that you see here, we have some older content, but still great content on our TikToks and our YouTube Shorts and on Instagram. And also on Twitter.
I'm not very good at it.
Not on Facebook. Facebook has nothing.
Never.
However,
Don't go to Facebook.
as a meme, we do say don't go to Facebook.
Hashtag don't go to Facebook.
It ruins
We'll
the
make it
meme
merch.
if you say as a meme.
No.
Grant, the joke is funny because when you explain
point
it,
It's
out the
self-aware,
joke, you
it's
explain
self-aware.
The joke, it makes it funny.
See, that was my intention by pointing it out, was that it would be funny.
Anyway, also, if you want to support the show in more ways than just sharing us with your friends, you could donate on via Streamlabs. Donate. You could Twitch subscribe. You could gift subscribe. You could also support us on Ko-Fi, or the place that's really at is Patreon. You get some extra content on the side. It's been a little laxing lately because lives have been crazy busy, but there's some content over there. Check it out.
Man, Drew is spitting right now.
I thought he said he couldn't rap.
That's what I thought too, but he's proving us wrong.
Keeping it all.
Hi,
humble.
I'm back. What's up?
Also, thank you,
Stop
Handskate,
talking about
for gifting Click to Add Text a tier 1 sub.
it. Let's go.
Handskate has
Hans!
gifted
The
147
longtime
subs
supporter.
on this channel. Thank you
130
so
of them all
I-
for Drew.
Drew.
I know for a fact that Click to Add Text, he's a good friend of mine. He will appreciate you gifting him a sub.
Probably won't
Enjoy
even
your
use
emotes,
it.
Drew.
No,
There
he
you go.
probably won't use it, but he does appreciate it all the same. Yeah, that's all I got, DM.
Excellent. Good job. Sorry, we had a smoke alarm start going off.
Oh
Oh,
no,
we didn't even
no
hear it.
Nothing's burning. It's
because
just
Drew was laying down those fire beats.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it was.
That's
Your
right.
PC is probably sparking. It's overclocked for
Anyway,
sure.
I
let's
really
go
hope it
ahead and
isn't.
have Aaron go through our next announcement.
Yeah, so it's me. I'm going to talk about the Discord. We have one. You should be in it. Why? Because it's filled with people just like you who like Dungeons and Dragons, who like the Paper Dungeon, who will say good morning and hello and hey. We have a couple, at least one person trying to start a Dungeons and Dragons game in there right now. So hop in and find yourself an online group.
Also, the Anchored Enki, you're crushing it in the Discord. We appreciate
You're
it.
doing great. We appreciate all of our very active Discord people. They're dwindling. We must strengthen them.
Well,
That's right.
I was gonna say we honestly should maybe as a cast do a little more with the Discord, but that's fine.
Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, I look at it every single day, even though sometimes there isn't anything on there on some days.
Aaron is
I
a
still look
master
at it.
lurker. It's
I
know
am
this,
the
to
king
be
of
fair.
Aaron
lurkers.
is
That is
a,
true.
is a better man than me.
And I will, if you say something, I will almost definitely respond. Other than that, we also have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com, where we have a merch store. You can buy stuff like merch that has our logo and stuff on it, and some quotes and some pictures and stuff. So go on there, buy some merch, send us money. That's another way to support us.
Also, I want to continue my rant of roasting us. I love it how, despite the fact that there's 4 of us, Handskate is the one putting in the commands in the chat.
Yeah, that's because Handskate is an absolute G.
Shout out Hands.
So
We do love you, Hands.
Hands,
Absolutely.
thank you, #1 supporter.
With that being said, Grant, do you have our next announcement?
If you're listening on podcast, thank you. Hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Hit that subscribe button and also like this video. And if you're here on Monday, congratulations. If you're not, be here sometime on Twitch. It'd be great. Monday nights. We're live every Monday night or Thursdays. There's a fun little channel called Table Scrap, so you all know and have heard of. And it's wonderful. Get out of the Discord to know when that happens. If you have Amazon Prime, you can support us for free on Twitch with a free Amazon Prime subscription. That helps us financially, and you get fun little doodads on Twitch stream. Thank you very much. We love our Dungeoneers.
Absolutely. That
I
was
don't know where this root beer came from. I'm going to be 100% honest. I sat down and it was to the side. It was already opened.
Oh, I was going to ask if I could have it.
No.
But it's open. I don't want it anyway.
Oh, yeah, no,
so.
I'm going to drink it. I just wanted everyone
It's a
to know.
mug, which is like...
I did not choose for it to be there. I wanted to hurt myself. When I went and chose which pop I was going to get, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get mug.
nice. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with tonight's episode of The Paper Dungeon. Drew, roll the clip.
Welcome to Nico Muris, a world of lost legend and forgotten lore. As the world, still recovering from the decimation of the trial, approaches the turn of the century, ancient evil returns with a lust for darkness and ruin. Follow us into a planar conspiracy as powers beyond your imagination plot the downfall of all that is right and good. 3 years have passed since our heroes fought a war to reclaim a fallen land. Now, they must once again take up arms and write a new story, a tale of glory, fear, and fortune, as they make their way through the Paper Dungeon.
Oh, you're muted, by the way.
bro.
Oh, what an L.
What?
And we are back.
Gotta end the channel. We
Why
can't.
was I muted?
I don't know, because
Why were
you
you?
had to go, gosh dang, silent, cheeked up, close your window.
Also DM.
But I didn't mute myself. I'm confused.
DM.
Yes.
I realized there's an announcement that we forgot to say. Next
Proceed.
week, guys, we might not be streaming the main campaign
We're
because
definitely not streaming the main campaign.
because DJ and I will be in the woods.
It's less of an announcement. This is a warning.
Yeah.
Aaron and Grant are in charge next week, and you never know what's going to happen when that's the case.
They're gonna start a whole new campaign. Just the two
I
of
hope
them.
you guys do start a new campaign.
Oh, man.
What if we did?
That'd be funny.
What if we had
Give me
a
a-
one-shot DM and one player?
What if I just started campaign 2, but it was just Grant?
That would honestly be kind of
I
funny.
mean, you could stream like his solo character shot, you know.
No spoilers, people.
Anyway,
Oh, that's interesting, Grant. We're gonna have to talk about that.
I
That-
don't know.
legit. If we have permission, I'm ready.
you have
I
permission
can't.
to do whatever you want to do. This is as much your stream as it is our stream. So you guys do whatever you want to do.
Whoa, you guys heard it. Write that down, chat. You guys heard it. He said we can do anything we want. Oh, I got ideas now.
As long as
they're
it
cooking.
resides within our niche and the confines of the Twitch agreement.
God
We're
dang
good.
it!
Dang it.
I was already in the process. of
TOS
gathering
was
various
already out the window.
explosives.
It's just
Anyway.
DM for Aaron.
we
Oh,
are
we could do that.
I'm in.
anyway.
I'll
All
make
right,
my
guys,
life hell,
we're just gonna move on from this. In our previous episodes, our party has been making their way
Downtown.
I was gonna make that joke.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but Aaron beat me to it.
You guys have been trying to figure out what exactly it is that you need to do. You had several options to prevent Clovar from achieving his ultimate goal of this new divine order, or more accurately, lack thereof, a divine order. You know that his goal is to bring about this new age through releasing these 6 truths, the way that Lanantari reigned in her judgment across the material plane back during the trial. In order to release these 6 truths, he has to find them. He has to sacrifice one of these chosen people that have very specific things. But in order to control them, he also has to have the parts of. I don't want to say
rod of 7 parts.
He has to have
the rod of 7 parts. Thank you. That's what I want to say. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. And so you had several options: prevent him from getting the sacrifices, so he can't actually release the 6 truths; prevent him from getting the rod, so that even if he did release the 6 truths, he can't control it, which kind of takes the whole point away because he doesn't want to rule over a wasteland. Or go for Clovar directly. Obviously, you don't want to do that. That's a suicide mission at the moment. But
we have to level up a couple more times.
Yeah, you guys got probably 3 more levels to go before you can do that. Something like
I'm
that.
saying
Roughly.
1 force cage. Game changer.
Absolutely. And so you guys decided that the best option would be to currently go after those who are searching after the rod. Specifically, that would be the dragons that are in league with Clovar. That'd be the king of the dragons, Rykorum, and his underlings. You knew that Leshka, who had a piece of the rod, was also being hunted by some of these dragons, and so you decided that the best course of action would be to join up with him and Lada and try and take on these dragons to prevent them from getting his piece of the rod and to thin the herd a little bit. And so that is exactly what you guys did. You met up with Leshka, you had a great conversation about the weave and how it opens up the mind. You guys tripped on mushrooms a little bit, or that's at least what it kind of felt like.
That's like Abinthy's day-to-day life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
drink
then-
that chalky milk.
That's right.
Oh,
And then
refreshing.
I'm like, can't stop.
Oh.
You drink chocolate milk and you immediately become the what's the king's name that we hate? The
Chestnut king.
the chestnut king. That's right.
Oh, dude, Aaron.
Oh, my.
Yes.
You joined up with Leshka, had great conversations about the weave before preparing your ambush on these 4 dragons: Viridian Rysir, the prince of the dragons, his handler, and Duskfell, and 2 of the other dragons that were with them currently hunting, which was Omesh and Emra. Emra being an ancient dragon and the rest being adult dragons. And you guys had a great time, honestly. You snuck up on Viridian Rysir, beheaded him, and Duskfell showed up, you killed him. Emra showed up, you killed her. Omesh showed up, you killed her too.
Well, okay. To be fair, the red one, Omesh. We
Dang
did
it,
not
I was
kill
close.
her. Grandma Dragon
Grandma.
Tavut killed her. Just want to say that
Yes,
Our-
our living weapon.
because
right.
she got because Omesh
I
got
stuck her
trapped
in
in
a
a force
cage.
cage.
Oh yeah.
And then we're like,
I was
just
like,
go,
I don't
just-
remember this happening. What are you talking about?
Just go and like, bleh,
You guys,
and it'll be fine.
did you just say that chocolate milk is 3 out of 10 hands?
Dang. Hands. Chestnut King 10 out of 10.
I mean,
Hans
okay. To be
maybe.
fair, Handskate has gone on the record before stating that she's not the biggest fan of chocolate milk. So
Because
Hands.
she's hands? Because it's hands?
Blocked
I'll let it
and
slide.
reported.
If it was anybody else, they'd be. That's right, Enki.
Actually, you know what? Chocolate milk 1 out of 10.
If I could just. No, that's what I wanted.
I'm sorry.
oh no,
I'm sorry. I messed up your screen.
you did mess up my
Gosh,
screen.
it's so funny.
That has never happened before. I don't think anybody's ever
Whoa.
actually
Edward and Aventhy switched places.
kicked people out.
That's funny.
That was
But-
the most like. Wow, I'm kind of into that, DJ. That was powerful.
That was me. I did
That was Aaron. I don't have the power to do that. I wanted to do that. I was looking for a way to do that, and then Aaron executed perfectly on my desires. It was amazing. So
Wow.
yeah,
Arr.
we ended the last session with
I'm,
you guys.
I'm a floor away, Grant. I don't. I'm
Off
sorry.
to a
out
great
again.
start here, guys.
Kick me out
Oh my
again.
gosh.
Please
We
continue.
officially decided that we're going to be a comedy podcast instead of like a drama podcast, and everything's
well,
kind of crap.
See, here's my question: Did we ever
Nothing's changing.
market ourselves as a drama podcast? Was that ever a thing?
Yeah,
No, we only ever
We
market
were
ourselves
we're
as
in
a
the gaming category.
That's
We're in
right.
the D&D
I-
category. That's what we're in.
We're gamers.
I'm thinking
When I invited
podcasts.
people to watch this show, I looked them in the eye and I said, "Get ready for intrigue. Get ready." For
We're in the.
I mean, you did say
category.
campaign 2 would be like season 3 of Law and Order. So
Whoa.
Honor. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I thought you were gonna spoil something.
Dun dun.
Yes. And I looked him in the eye and said, "You will feel things that you have not felt ever." Fear, maybe.
Disgust.
Yeah. Disappointment, probably.
drama podcast with nightmare.
You will understand what it's like to be a disappointed father.
Absolutely.
Boredom? No, never. You'll never, be bored.
Never once, because you'll be too
You'll-
busy crying your heart out.
That's right. That's right.
No laugh.
We are
Laughter
not
is
funny.
not allowed for campaign 2.
Stop that,
No.
Drew.
This bit
Stop
is
that.
going on too long. Nonetheless,
Drew, you have been smiling, and I need
We-
you to stop right now.
ended the session with you guys having killed off all the rest of the dragons, Ometh being killed by Tavut, and you guys are still in the woods near Lois south of the Valley of Kings in East Bravania. And we're going to pick right up right where we left off. You guys are breathing heavy. I believe Edward
Yeah, Edward
just
got the first
landed
blow. Yeah,
from
with that-
walking off the back of a
I
dragon
did.
that he killed
as it blew up behind him.
as it blew up behind him as an explosion of earth and flora erupted behind him.
Michael Bay style.
And that's what we'll pick up.
Yeah. Edward and I Baywatch jog towards each other, and then we predator high five, and our arms are way more jacked than they are in real life when the camera zooms in on it. That was exactly the sound that it makes, Grant. That was
Yes.
well done. And we say nothing. It's just
But yeah, Edward just
conversation between two men.
they look at each other in the eyes and very serious. And Abinthy nods, and Edward nods, and they begin making their way back to camp.
I
Kimura
super
walks
thought
up
you
to
were gonna say
Cather.
make
We have a
out.
camp.
Kiamura walks up to Cather and he goes, "They let their muscles do the talking, didn't they?"
I believe they did. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Just like in that one show. Something about alchemy. Anyway.
I don't think I've seen that play.
Fair enough. You guys, stop. Grant. I like the fact that Aaron was like, "Yes, this is the bit," and then Grant was like, kind of laughing as he like tried to do the bit.
I can't do that.
But you guys meet back up. Yeah, you guys get back together. After a little while, Tavut just comes out of the woods.
Grandmother.
Abinthy, good job with the force cage.
It is a skill of mine. I'm not going to downplay it.
It
It's
was
so
very
good to
well
see
done.
you. So good to see you. Come. We're all having a break, a quick sit down. Oh, I'm just going to reconvene. Yeah.
Lada comes out from the side of Reem Raisir, which is a bag of scales.
Yes, we are going to need to figure out a way to harvest all of this, and
I would agree.
somewhere.
It would be a shame to let it all go to waste. That's for sure.
Yes.
Lots
I
of
can-
magic in these dragons.
I can fit a single one if we can get it through the door, and in 8 hours, I can fit one in a pocket dimension. But
Like
if
a
I
whole-
could fit
like a
20 feet
whole
of-
dragon.
I've got 20 feet of space, so I could fit like one. I can
If we
make
chop
more.
it up, you know how you like process a bird? You know,
yeah.
like
We're
you
going to
butcher a
have
bird.
skin
You just
it,
do the same thing with a
gut
dragon.
it.
20-foot cube.
Yeah,
You could do that. Tail,
Easy.
limbs, chest, neck, and head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to work, gang.
Edward is sitting down. Are you kidding me? You're like, a good fight, everybody. Now let's harvest these dragons.
Absolutely.
Edward is sitting down.
Oh,
He is tired.
this is why you'll never advance.
He's done
Astro.
magic.
The stage
Yeah.
you're at.
Edward will slowly also administer some healing magics to those who are looking like they are in more need than others.
Absolutely. As will Lada. She goes through and helps out where she can.
Leshka, since his telekinesis is still up for probably like, I don't know, like 7 or so minutes at this point.
6 hours.
Well, it lasts 10 minutes total, so.
Oh, I thought it lasted 8 hours. For some
No.
reason.
It's not
That
that.
would be
It's not that
wild.
powerful. But while it does last, he will use his telekinesis to help like rip apart the dragons to help harvest.
That's
I'm like, I'll
That's
hold on
gnarly.
to one end, you just pull, and he just
Yeah. It makes getting what is it like what's the power like the dragon
Fillet.
part their like the fire
wishbone
sack thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What do we call
I'm
it
not
in this
gonna-
world? I don't remember what it's called.
fire sack. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure it's
remember
just
what it's
called the fire
but
sack.
Yeah, there's an organ inside that's where they like get their fire, their
Their
dragon
breath
breath.
weapon. Because I remember
Yeah.
it was really valuable early on in the campaign for magic stuff.
It's still very valuable. That's good stuff right there.
So we collect some of that.
Good. Yes, we harvest, and we also take a nap.
Uh,
Do we need to go anywhere before we really like? Or
Take a
can we
nap?
just camp up
Not be
here?
out in the open, or
well, it would probably be a good
We have
idea
to go
if
back to the cave.
yes, at least go back to the cave, and camp
Yeah.
up there, perhaps.
I think we've harvested as much as we can for today. They theoretically won't be going anywhere. So yes, I could use I could use a bit of a nap, like a long nap,
I
like
would
a
agree.
strong 8 hours of nap.
A strong yes. I don't think I quite need 8 hours. I don't quite need 8
Oh,
hours. But,
question for you guys: which
Yes.
dragon have you been harvesting?
Well-
the biggest one.
well, I mean,
Yes.
eventually the goal would be to harvest all of them. However, I imagine the one we've been harvesting first was Vareem Rysir, because he's the one we
Oh.
killed first and Lotta started on first.
Yeah, Lotta started on Vareem Rysir. Abinthy definitely went straight towards the amethyst one.
Towards
yeah,
Emra?
yeah, the ancient one.
Okay.
I'd say Leshka would probably help Abinthy with that, and Catherine
Yeah.
would help finish off Vareem
Just pairs
Rysir.
of two. We send the
Okay.
two buff ones to deal with Unduskvel or something like that.
Yeah, the spiky one.
Should probably go to Ometh because red is probably worth more than green. And
Depends on what you
then
look for.
we'll have Lotta and someone else.
I'm Edward.
DM,
Edward,
how
yeah.
much time
Hello.
do we have in our day here?
I mean, it was the morning. You guys, it's like 10 a.m. at the moment.
Ooh.
You guys woke up and chose violence.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we have a decent amount of time here to harvest some stuffs.
Abinthy
And we can celebrate.
Leshka.
Yes. Mhm.
You guys begin to make your way over to Emra
Yeah.
to start harvesting.
Yeah.
She's not even dead.
What's the plan here? Harvesting this.
I mean, he's
Second
got
help.
telekinesis.
Leshka uses telekinesis, starts ripping
got-
off body parts.
I've got some type of spell.
Okay.
If he has to, let's see, what spells does Leshka have that might be helpful for this?
I'm steel wind striking to like.
I was gonna say,
fillet.
yeah, Leshka might cast ice knife a couple times to cut some stuff up.
You guys
Or
get to
sword-
Emra.
Ooh, I have sword burst too. That might be helpful.
What body part are you starting with specifically?
We should probably head to tail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, You
I hope that a
guys,
reflex
breath-
happens. She
the
just turns
breath
around and
sack.
just murders us.
Just murders both the two mages.
well, you get to the head.
Ooh.
And you realize that she's still breathing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ever so slightly, very, very shallow
Oh.
breathing. She's gonna die, but she's still.
I thought Leshka or Edward stabbed her in the neck or something.
She did.
Yeah, right in the trachea.
Yeah, but it's a big neck. It's a big neck.
The
Okay.
neck is like 20 feet long.
Okay, well, does Leshka still have his telekinesis when this happens?
Hold on. Emra, can you hear me?
She like
Speak, noble beast.
she'll slightly like roll her head to the side. I can hear you.
Shoot, I didn't think that I'd go this far.
You're going to lose.
That's always a possibility, but in comparison to us, you already did.
That's fair.
Do you have any helpful parting words to people who are going to probably continue to win, at least for a little bit?
Just because you protected this piece doesn't mean that others haven't succeeded. Already, several pieces have been found since you told us where they were.
So, fun fact, math-wise, it's not good for you, because you need all 7, and we need 1. So, I hate to kind of mess up your whole dying word situation, but if we win once, then we win.
Wait until he comes for you.
Oh yeah, big dragon, blah, 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 blah. Turns out falling happens to everyone. Did you know that there was a researcher who was trying to figure out how dragons could fly, and he attributed it to their egos. There's a reason I call it humility.
Ooh, snap.
That is fair.
I always am.
Honestly,
So do you want
respect to
do you
this
want us to
dragon.
kill you or just to die slowly?
I will just lay here and let you do what you want. I am tired.
Great. Leshka walks over right
Coup de
next to the
grace,
neck
Leshka.
and just
Coup de
stabs
grace.
her in the neck with an ice knife, and it blows up in her neck.
Oh my god.
You just blow a chunk out of her neck. Oh my gosh. That's pretty brutal, Leshka. That's
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful ancient dragon.
Not anymore.
Well, let's just put it this way.
Wow.
Let's just put it this
Hey,
way.
Wander.
This dragon, along with 3 others, has made Leshka's life a living hell for the past 4 months.
Also,
Hey, I'm just
he's
saying,
he's
man.
a dragonborn.
Let's
It's
just
in his
doing
right.
his thing.
Have you not played Skyrim?
That's right.
Oh,
no, I have not.
Yeah. So yeah,
You're lucky.
I'd say DM, starting from the head, working our way down. The first thing we would grab is the breath sack.
Yeah,
That's great.
Enter
The
through
throat-
the explosion
the throat
hole.
sack.
The reason why I was curious about all of this was to
I know.
get you guys over there
Where's for the roleplay? I know.
with her.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys continue to harvest the dragon. I'll say it takes like 6 hours for you guys
Harvest
to get
the
through.
wing. Harvest the wing.
Don't worry, Greg.
Oh, we're harvesting all of it, baby.
The thing's gonna be.
The wing
it's
is
gonna be
like
bones.
50 feet long or
It's gonna
something.
be like when like in a cartoon when like
100, maybe more.
when a bunch of piranhas show up in
Oh,
a
big
cartoon
yawn.
and they just
Yeah.
everything just gets down to the bone.
I have a feeling that dragon wanted to say more, but the dragon was also like, "I'll just lay here. You can kill
If
me."
the
got her
dragon
point
wants to
across.
say, if the dragon wants to say more, then she can throw less shade in the future. Oh wait, she can't. She's dead.
Oh,
You got her point across.
Now
Yes.
out of
So did Leshka.
guys, this is Drew. Do we think so? They definitely got one of the rods from the Chosen. This is Drew's guess here, and likely but I'm just curious. How likely do we think that they got the rod from the orcs?
Unlikely.
So that's the
Without
thing. I
us
don't-
hearing about it.
I think if they got it from anywhere, they probably got it from the island.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
Eradora.
No.
No, the other
Terra
one.
Colomos.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
island.
the. Well, that's not the name of the island, but
That's
yes, you got the
near
gist of it.
Keep. It's his island. Yes.
Catan.
Anyway, Grant is struggling here, guys.
Which is now the keep.
Yes. So when we all group up after harvesting these dragons and placing them in various bags of holding / interplanar gateways and such, Abinthy will be like, all right, before we go to rest, could I suggest that we briefly discuss what exactly the next plan is? I would recommend probably that Lotta and who's the sorcerer? Leshka, the double L's. I'm so sorry, Dolly. I'm so bad with names. Lotta and Leshka, you should probably go on the run again. Try to keep moving. As for Fate's Gambit, we should probably check in with the Chosen. Ugh.
I think that's probably a good idea.
I'm sorry, who are the chosen?
None of your... It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
If I'm going to...
Oh, shoot, you're going with us. It's a secret organization tasked with protecting the original gushing dialogue of the Mother Goddess. They're a bunch of hacks.
If I recall correctly,
Okay, they do a lot of good
if I
work.
recall correctly from our conversation with Miriam, they are the original enemy of Clovar, basically, and the Anathema.
I see.
They also have
Theoretically-
a piece of the rod, and one of the sacrifices was visiting them. So we should probably make sure that nothing went horribly wrong. They've also been infiltrated, so...
Well, yes. I mean, something definitely went terribly wrong, since they have been infiltrated.
It's definitely worth seeing what's happening.
Yes, maybe we can
does-
root out some traitors.
Do any of us have a way of reaching out to them?
I elbow Edward.
I am friends with someone.
Okay.
Edward says, sweating.
And do you have like a sending stone?
Do I have a sending stone? Do I have a way to communicate with like Charles or like or like my wife?
We have like a whole book, right? Where you like write in it, and then they write in it, and they both show up.
I think that was Lotta. I don't remember having that. But
I know that a lot of Renai had that, but also
It's never been used, but
It's
if you
never
say
been
that he-
used. If
you
I
say that he
have
has
it, I just have only used it in private because I'm a good boy and
Sure.
I don't talk about the chosen.
He's
Yes.
mainly been sending letters, and we haven't really been at the keep for him.
All
to use
in
the book,
private.
so.
I see.
Yes.
Well, yes, you do have a book with that's the same thing as like what Lotta and Renaya had, where you could both write in it.
Okay, and it's with Charles.
It's with your handler. Charles is not your
Yeah.
handler.
To the actual like association.
I see. Okay.
I love it. I love it how in that whole thing, Grant's just like, I have a way to talk to Charles, right? It's Charles, right? Charles is the guy.
Charles, right? And he's like, no, you have a supervisor.
You have a way of
And he's
talking
like,
to Charles.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Because he needs to have a way to get his assignments.
Yes.
Okay, this all makes sense.
We got there.
Edward
everybody.
says, I have a way to communicate with the chosen. I could make sure that we're welcome.
Okay. And do you have like, and we have a good way to meet up with them too? Like that's also.
Give me a moment. And Edward turns and rummages in his bag and like behind his back holds this book and starts writing in it.
Okay.
Edward will write, good news to report regarding the development of the resistance to Clovar, period. And then he will say, Fate's Gambit and friend would like to visit
Who's the and friend?
on behalf Kiamora.
Nah, Kiamora's a member of Fate's Gambit.
He's not. No,
We never gave him a membership card.
we did not vote on this.
Wow,
Um,
really? You guys are gonna be wow. Okay.
Bro, he's definitely dying next combat. I'm calling
Look,
it.
real people get one membership into the group. You already have your one.
Fate's
It's been used.
Gambit and friend who may or may not survive
about
the next
DJ?
combat.
Oh.
I don't count. I'm not a real person.
He's
DJ's
God.
also the villain.
I'm the DM.
Yeah, he's everybody.
I don't count as a person. It's how I can morally justify the things that I do to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
Sounds good to me.
Fine. Kiamora and Leshka can be the founding members of Destiny's Gamble.
And then he says, sorry for the pause. Had somebody distracted me. Period. It was Cather. Period. And then he says, we would like to meet on behalf of the Clovar situation.
On behalf
Is
of the
there
Clovar
a
situation?
Yeah. Is there
Let
a
him cook.
way? Is there a way we could travel quickly to the chosen headquarters? Question mark.
I mean,
So
yes, is his answer to your question.
you get the little bubble with the 3 dots.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
pops up.
He's
typing.
typing. He's typing.
They're They're-
goodness.
what's it called when you're writing? They're graphing. Wait, is that what it is?
What? I have no
What
clue
are
what
you?
you're talking about.
What are you even?
They would
I don't even
they
know
would
what
just
to
be their
answer.
writing,
Oh,
Grant,
God.
because that's what you do. You write in a book.
Anyway,
I'm gonna riot.
the words begin to show up. Your handler's name is Jude. So Jude starts.
Hey, Jude.
No,
How dare you?
I had to.
Dear Edward, don't make it bad.
Edward. We would be happy to meet and discuss with you the situation. Please report to the church, which you know is the headquarters,
That's what I needed to know.
which is on a little island outside of Saladin, which
It's on
is
a
the country
tiny,
with-
uninhabited island.
No,
It's inhabited.
it is inhabited. If you remember, I will remind you that you can use your teleportation circle in your house to get to the church.
Oh yeah, you do have a.
I
We installed that
yes.
for you.
Yes. We're kind of far from there, right?
I mean, literally, we have teleportation magic, Edward.
That is true. Yeah. Okay,
That's,
we're good.
That's kind of how we got
where
where we are currently.
I forget.
Grant.
I
It's
kind
how
of
you've gotten
forget.
everywhere for the last 32 episodes.
Hey, hold
kinda
on. Oh, not
forget
32 episodes.
How we get
Oh my
places.
gosh, yes, for the last 32 episodes, with like 4 exceptions.
All right. Are they done?
Please,
Are they done writing?
do you have any other questions?
You
Edward
shouldn't have
says.
given that option.
Edward says, "I look forward to the chance to meet with my supervisor once again." Winky emoji.
So what is that? What is that? What are you implying?
You're a married man. You are a married man.
Empathy has
Fellas.
worn off badly on you.
I wasn't inferring anything. Edward's just playful. He tries to
I
make his
would hate-
texting interesting.
I would hate to text Edward.
Look, it's hard to be all business.
I do hate to text Edward.
They try to cultivate a fun. They
A
gamify.
positive work
They gamify the
experience.
work
This is what we're gonna
experience,
do. We're
okay?
gonna start an AI bot where you can just text it, and it's like texting Edward. It was just like it's gonna be.
It's just
you text
absolute
it.
nonsense for the entire time.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
Edward writes,
It'll also send you little like asterisk giggles asterisk messages.
Yes.
oh gosh,
RAR
insufferable.
XD.
No. And then Edward says, "We'll see you as soon as we can."
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hearts, kisses.
Oh, yes.
XOXO.
I don't think he has any more to say.
Edward, you've been crouched over there. For
You've
like
been
20
hunched
minutes.
over, scribbling into this book.
Is there stomach problems, acid
So-
reflux?
Edward stands up and says, "We're in. We just have to teleport to the church, which is a small island."
All right, so you're going to have
Okay.
to put in the coordinates for that. We
Right.
can get us back to the keep.
Right, like how?
Yes.
How do we?
We'll
like,
use the teleportation circle at the keep. I've done it many times, so I know exactly where to go.
Right. Okay. Sure. That's doable.
I think you're taxed out on teleportation. I can get us back there. It's a bit roundabout, but
No, I could do it. We've had a rest since I
oh yes, we have.
teleported us here. Leshka, Lotta, do you want to come with us?
Are you sure you want to bring him to the keep?
I feel like it might be a good idea for us to start getting on the road again.
Well, yes, I totally 100% agree. However, it would be good for you to not be in the place that you just killed 4 dragons.
I don't see any dragons. You mean back to Gambit's Keep, not the church.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good place to start, I guess.
Yes. We go back to Gambit's Keep. We're all there. We can all rest together, go our separate ways.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Take us away.
Especially since we have to take all this to Gambit's Keep anyway, as Cather holds up the head of a dragon.
Yes. Take us away.
I'm ready
standing there,
too.
I'm
Edward's ready.
Take us away.
Edward's arm is around Abinthy. They are ready.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Everyone holds hands and holds dragons as Cather uses a charge of the helm of teleportation to teleport to Gambit's Keep.
Okay.
First order of business. Once we're here, can you? Oh yeah, you know the place well, so we just make it there, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah. We have a teleportation circle, of course.
Yeah. I can tell if I have a if there's a teleportation circle, it makes it real easy.
Fantastic. First order of business. We should probably go to sleep.
Yes.
Great. We do that.
I would like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Cather and Kiamora go down to like the freezer cellar place that we have in Gambit's Keep and drop off all the dragon parts.
Yep.
Yeah, you go down to the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole sub level of the basement.
Yeah. It's like you go down and it's here's our like treasure vault, Abinthy's workshop, literal just freezer.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing is cold. In my 2 hours of available downtime in my kind of rest, can I do some light tinkering on
Absolutely.
Edward, Edward, I need to see your rod.
Absolutely. And
Fantastic.
he gives Edward the rod.
Yeah. I take Edward's
Edward
rod
the
of lordly might. And I'll do some light tinkering using some of the stuff that we have and begin working on modifying it slightly.
Edward has seen Abinthy modify things in the past, and so Edward doesn't ask any questions. He knows that it'll probably end up being a good thing that happened. So Edward just lets
Edward's
him
like,
take it.
It will be better when it comes back, I'm sure.
Yeah. Either that or I'll find out, I guess.
You guys, Abinthy, you work on the rod a little bit, making the modifications. Cather, you go to bed. Kiamora, you go to bed.
Yeah.
Kiamora goes to bed. I'm not talking to anybody when I say Kiamora. Edward, you go to bed, I'm assuming?
Yeah, Edward will dally a bit. And then he won't go to bed. I was thinking in my head whether or not I want to do this. He won't go to bed. In fact, he's going to go visit Abinthy.
Oh.
He's going to go visit Abinthy in the wee hours of the night while the torches.
He plays with your rod.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
Look, nothing about this is playing.
Yeah, so this is very serious. While the
For the
little
record,
lanterns are lighting the halls.
Leshka is also down there with Abinthy taking notes.
Oh, Leshka. That's fine. Leshka was there anyways.
I am in a soundproof barrier room. He's observing from the window.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then Edward will enter Abinthy's quarters and just see Leshka there. And
Leshka's just sitting on on a stool with a low table in front of him as he's just scribbling away in a notepad as he occasionally looks up at what Abinthy's doing.
Yeah, you hear like the little on the stone or whatever you see, and then you look over and Edward just freezes mid motion.
Yeah, Edward would hear in his mind from Leshka, like, "Oh, are you here to study with Abinthy as well? It's quite fascinating what he can do with his magic."
You're up quite late. Yes, I'm here to speak with Abinthy about magic. In
That
fact.
has the exact same vibe as when Zuko went to visit
Sokka.
Sokka, and then but Sokka was expecting Suki.
Yep.
And it's just like, hi Zuko, what's up? Yeah.
It is exactly like that.
How
because
did you know?
this is not a
described it better.
romantic encounter. And Edward was expecting something else. And so Edward will then be like, well, it's good to see you, pleasantries, haha. Is Abinthy busy? I'd like to speak with him.
I don't know. I mean, he's been working at this thing with the rod for a while now.
Okay.
Do I need to leave?
Can I-
Do you guys need some privacy?
No, it's okay. Can I take a look through the window?
By all means. He gestures
Edward
towards the
will.
window.
Peek inside, just
I'll
wave.
notice and I'll look up and I'll right now I have like the rod is like opened up to view the like arcane like functions on the inside and the little gears and fancy metal bits, and he has like taken a couple of things out just to like not enough that I'm disassembling it or actually going to change it, just to really define like what does what. And I will look up and I'll go, and I'll head to the I'll head to the door and I'll open the pressurized room. The steam billows out and I go, Edward, yes. How can I help you tonight?
Is this a bad time? I'd
not
love to
at
talk a
all.
bit.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay.
Do you want it to be? Is it just like a? Is it like a?
It's not that private, I suppose. It's.
I mean, we can always
wanted-
talk in the room. Can you read lips, Leshka?
I mean, I can't read lips, but I technically could read your minds.
Well, don't do that.
But no, it's all right. It's
like I just cut out the middleman.
It's really although I will admit it is past time that I turn in for the night. It is quite late and I'm
It is
quite
getting
tired.
less.
Actually, maybe it's a good idea Leshka stays. And he looks at Leshka.
Leshka pauses midway through packing up his books and stuff. Well, I mean, if it's all right, I'm always Abney continues to interest me. He's such a mysterious yet
Yes.
powerful and astute mind.
Yes. Do you have any cider left over?
Yes.
Abinthy?
It's right here. I open the door to the base. It's a trap door, and then it rises out of the
More
floor.
steam.
There's
God.
a lot of arcane frost wards, on it on the box.
Edward puts on the record. It's like some classic jazz. And they'll sit in like furnished
Guys, grab
chairs
some
next
bourbon,
to
get some
next to the
cigars,
hearth.
sit in the
Yes.
lounge.
They have the cider. Edward got out his Sherpa blanket. They're all cozy. And
Love that.
Edward, while the music is playing, Edward would like to. He starts. He says, So we saw the weave together,
Yes.
Again, from what I hear.
and that was intense.
Yes.
Abinthy, you've described something of that sort before,
Mm-hmm.
but I assumed it was you were being hyperbolic or using flower language. I didn't really think it would be like that.
No one ever does. I just shout into the endless void and never hear an echo.
Abinthy, in your mind, you do hear Leshka say, "Echo."
Ah! 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 I'm sorry. I've
And-
recovered.
While we were there, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. We were inside Leshka's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, yes.
briefly in his mind. And it's hard for me to think that what I had seen and heard there is around us now. Or within us, in our minds. All the time. Abinthy, you say you see the weave all the time. You don't see... You're not there, are you?
It comes and goes. How intense it is changes, but it's always there. Right now it's pretty dim, but yes, I can see it.
It is a fascinating concept, all that happens in my mind. Actually brings an idea for perhaps crafting a new spell.
Reshka, what was that like for you? I mean,
Having you in my mind.
You were... Well, before then, you were a bit feral. And it scared me.
Well...
And then we went in your mindscape, and there you were, all along.
If I'm being honest, it was kind of a... Before you entered my mind, it was all kind of a haze, if I'm being real. You know? Like I remember a couple months ago when we met up in the valley and fought that one dude, that one anathema guy, who's like, wasn't a member of the anathema, but was like an underling.
Yes, so that one of the generals.
I remember that. And then...
We got him to talk real quick.
Yeah. But then shortly after you left and told me to grab the rod and run, that's when things kind of went a little crazy. And I don't really remember much of what happened between that and when you helped me center myself, as it were. Thank you again, by the way, for that, Abinthy and Edward.
Not a problem.
So when you grabbed the rod...
Yes.
You saw the weave. That's what happened?
No.
Or...
I didn't see the weave, like Abinthy often describes, or like he showed us partially in that fight we just had with the dragons. It was more like the rod helped expand my connection that I already have to the weave, which is more of a metaphysical connection, you know? It's more like I can kind of sense it. Like a sixth sense, you know?
The reason I'm curious, I haven't seen anything like it, obviously. It was the first time, other than when you slowed time, Abinthy. I remember seeing something like that, but it was a glimpse of it.
Yes, just a moment.
I didn't just see what you were seeing, I heard something. And I was listening for it. Abinthy, you said that perhaps there was something that the weave had to offer when it comes to sounds and music. And it made sense, the weave responds to it. But what I heard in there, it wasn't like music I had heard before. Music comes from something. A string is plucked on a lute. Or wind is tunneled through a pipe. This was a different kind of music. It wasn't like I was hearing it. It was like it made up the air around me. It was as if I was suspended in it. And ever since then, I've tried to hear music the same way, but I can't. I long for it. It was beautiful. I was no longer worried about anything. And that night, I sat with my lute. And it just happened, but since then, I don't know. It's hard. Do you know what I'm trying to say, Abinthy?
I have some guesses. You have glimpsed something that is far above your current capabilities. And it is something very intriguing. For me, I grew up seeing it, but I didn't really understand what it was until, the battle at Avarice Hill. The night I became the Mage Slayer. What I've tended to find throughout my experiences is that entrance to the realm where you can experience magic rather than simply know about it tends to arrive in moments of extreme peril and stress. Times of heightened emotion tend to be the battering ram that breaks down the door. You got a glimpse through that door, through Leshka's battering ram, so to speak. It's going to be difficult in some ways for you, seeing as now that you know what you're looking for, it may actually be harder to find. But that being said, I have traveled very far throughout this world. I've been places that other people have not stepped foot in since Brunaya walked the lands. I've seen bards wring tears from stone and sing colors to the blind. I don't know what it's like for you, but when it comes to the musical part of it, to the sound of the weave and the pattern that it makes, I can only guess at its rhythm. If you actually were to watch in combat, I stole my swordplay from spell dancers, elvish spell singers and whatnot. They were studying at Bride's Sanctuary, and I simply stole what they were doing as I saw that the pathways that their blades traveled matched certain wavelengths through the air, but it does have a certain musical property. They are blade singers. It's a song and a dance. I've been told that it follows the same rhythm that some bards hear. I think that it's all interconnected, and most of the time, if they can experience it at all, people will only see or hear or taste. I knew a magical chef once. It was absurd.
Really?
Yes. Even Talanasha experiences it through touch. The weave, physically, she can grab hold of it and feel its presence, although she cannot hear or see it.
Would that suggest that if it communicates, if magic happens through the senses, that would suggest that everything might be connected to the weave?
Yeah, it's in the book. That's what I wrote about.
It's a very good book. You should read it.
I told
I'll
you.
be honest, I didn't finish it.
I know. It's a bit
at
wordy.
the time,
I get it.
No, it's not that. It seemed a little outlandish for me. You know how I think.
Yes, understandably.
You've known me, and it was hard. I don't know, but but after seeing that, everything's thrown into question. Everything I've learned is thrown into question. I was taught music and magic like it was a formula. I learned it that way. I pluck a string and this happens. I pluck the other and that happens. And it is a bit of experimenting and learning what doesn't work, but it's not like that with this. With this, it's chaotic and beautiful, and it's impossible to determine. It's impossible to predict. It just is. And
Yes.
how do I understand it?
Some things were never meant to be understood, Edward. They're simply meant to be experienced. Edward, if I may overstep my bounds slightly, as I am known to do, I think you have a bit of a problem with relinquishing control.
Okay.
If-
Why do you say?
Well, have you met you?
Well, I will admit, I often think things should be happening in the best way they can. And I'll go to great lengths to make sure that happens.
Which is good. That's a very good thing, is that you have drive, you have passion. But I've found that you tend to react vehemently when unforeseen circumstances arrive.
Certainly true.
And that's okay. That is there's nothing wrong with that. But magic is unforeseen. It is unexpected and wild and free and chaotic. And it can be put into pattern. The way that I see it, although it is freely flowing and ever growing, it is in a pattern. So is music. It may be strange and alien to you, but it still follows a sequence and a formula, even if that sequence and formula is constantly in flux. You just have to learn to roll with it. Attune your sequences to its sequences, be able to see it, read it, determine where it's going, its beat, its measure.
Edward grins a little bit, like smirks a little bit, and he chuckles and shakes his head. And he kind of looks at the ceiling as if he's like remembering. And he says, Tarak used to speak of being free. And a lot of the things he said, I couldn't wrap my head around either. It was like he was speaking in some different code. Speaking of abstract ideas like freedom and agency, your own choice. And being free of external influence. And that to me, sometimes, just sounded a bit, as you said, chaotic. And maybe this kind of thing was what Tarak was talking about. Maybe there is some beauty in not knowing. As hard as that is for me to wrap my head around. I don't really know where to start. I don't know how to undo how I think.
Edward,
I am me.
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
Music-wise, you were classically trained, right?
Yes, I would say so. Absolutely. I was trained by Flinsfus.
Yes, Flinsfus. I should have known. You so much like him. Have you ever really dug into jazz?
I think I like jazz. I think you want to know my take on jazz?
You have no idea how much I want to know Edward's take on jazz.
Jazz is quite clever. I do think. I would also like to say that sometimes it feels a little bit loosey-goosey. Like you don't really need to do things right. And it's not my style, but I get why some people like it. I don't know. I've never been able to play it.
Thank you for leading me directly to my point. From what I hear, and from what I'm picking up from what you tend to experience and what you've been explaining, I think your situation is a lot like classical versus jazz. in magic, the way that you've learned it is formulaic, which, although technical, tends to be rather straightforward. When in reality, the magic that is around and comes from within and is almost that next level is pretty, as you say, loosey-goosey. I would look at it as a way to... Here's what I would do with you. I would put aside the idea momentarily of trying to figure out how magic works, and I would learn how to play jazz.
Really? Jazz?
Yes. It's like a math problem. When you have really, really big numbers that you're dealing with, the easiest way to deal with them is to break them down into smaller ideas. You have 25,000 times 32,000. Even just take off the zeros to start, and you're in a better spot. And then you can take that knowledge and bring it further back to the original equation. I think that if you can learn to transform your musical abilities into something a little bit more free-form, a little bit more out there, something that isn't in your comfort zone, it may help you somewhat understand how your magic should change, because in a lot of ways they're one and the same.
That certainly gives me something to do instead of just thinking about it all the time, which will
Stop
help.
thinking, that helps too. Don't think about it too much.
Stop thinking.
It's tough. It's very tough. I'm not very good at it either, but I have a lot more experience than you, so...
Okay, well, I'll
Edward.
pick up jazz.
Edward, if
Yes, Leshka, please, anything you...
may interject in here. I don't possess a lot of the technical knowledge behind magic. I certainly understand how it feels.
Yes, he's got that visceral sixth sense magic going on.
I think if I were to pick up on Abinthy's analogy, if you were the classical trained, I think I would be the jazz trained.
Really?
If it's all right with you, I have a few. Well, I have this, and Leshka produces a journal, and hands it to Edward. When I first started learning how to cast some of these spells, when I was just a mere hatchling, I wrote down everything. I wrote down the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, the flow. Perhaps it could help you understand what Abinthy is trying to say.
Leshka, they say that 1 year of experience is worth 10 years of practice. Or something like that.
It's a good one. That's good.
Is that... It's something like that.
Something like that, yeah, I'm sure.
It's like 1 year on the road is worth 3 in the classroom. Something along those lines.
Something like that. And this, Leshka, this is very helpful. To know how you thought about it at the time, that gives me something. And I also have to ask myself, do I want to hear the weave? Do I want this?
It's a fair
It seems
question.
like...
Can
I handle
you
that?
liked it.
I did.
Then
It's
pursue
also
it.
terrifying.
Well, yes, so is love.
I also know myself, and I know that I can't not know what's going on. So I'll practice jazz. It's a good place to start. Thank
Very
you. I've always been cynical.
I haven't noticed.
And I can't believe it's more than you described. Edward says with a big grin on his face.
Well, it's getting rather late, you two. We should probably head to sleep if we can.
I'll take another round of cider first.
Already done. In fact, take it to your room.
Edward takes the jug of cider to his room.
Nice. Leshka
And
It
Jug,
gets
like
sloshed.
the serving Jug.
will walk over and sleep in one of the guest bedrooms.
Leshka, you can hear from down the hall. Edward. Bling, 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 bling. Oh, sounds so bad. Bling, bling.
The beauty of jazz. The beauty of a lutish jazz.
That's right. He goes ham on the lute.
You can hear the beginnings of giant steps, but like poorly.
For some
Nice.
reason, I also imagine Edward absolutely does like flute beatboxing, which is not jazz at all. But for some reason, that feels like such an Edward move.
That's kind of the Grant thing that it would do.
That's actually accurate. Shoot.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys make your way to bed and get some well-deserved rest. In the morning, you all awake. The keep is still there. Yes, Leshka.
In the wee hours of the morning, there's
Mhm.
something Cather would like to do
Okay.
with Kiamora.
Cather. Okay. What's up, Cather?
Uh,
Kiamora is in his room that he's been kind of hanging out in, just like sprawled across the bed.
so after they've both had their 4 hours of rest and they've
Yeah.
been, like awake for a little while, Cather will come over and kind of knock on the door. Hey,
What?
are you awake? Are you awake?
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda. Have you had some breakfast yet?
That's a good idea.
Here, he'll open the door. It's like, and he'll say, I have a little bit of just a couple breakfast sandwiches prepared if you want to eat some.
Kiamora is just sprawled across his bed, just laying there. He has like an ice pack on his ribs, an ice pack on his shoulder. He has one just on the center of his chest where he got ran through, and his scar is still like throbbing. And he's like,
A big ice on his chest.
You all right there?
I don't know if I'm getting soft or if we're just fighting really tough guys, but I'm a little broken. Not gonna lie. I'm hurting a little bit, and I just need to ice some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
As he's still just like laying there.
Well, a great part of recovery is nutrition, so come eat something.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Takes the ice packs, puts them down. He throws on a shirt, and goes into the kitchen with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for making food, man.
You are welcome. As it makes, I imagine it's just some small talk as they eat. Eventually, Cather will walk over to the wall and grab a pair of training
Lean against it
weapons.
dramatically.
Yeah,
Look
right.
over
leans
it.
against- No, but he'll grab a staff and a wooden sword, and he'll throw the staff to Kiamora and say,
Oh,
"Well, if you are going soft, we can't have that after all. Come on."
I'm so tired.
It
He
wakes you
says
up.
as he's like getting up.
I have a request.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ed.
Can you stop being so sexually charged all the time with every possible thing?
Are
that
you
say?
talking to me or DJ?
Yes. Oh my god, dude, this has been like a fan fiction for like 20 minutes.
I've had to be muted. I keep giggling.
Dog. Oh, we can't have you getting soft now. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Come on, man.
It's not that bad.
Bro. This is on Tumblr.
What? Throwback. Is Tumblr still a thing?
Yes.
Yes. Tumblr is still a thing.
This is someone wrote a drew something on DeviantArt about this exact scene. I guarantee it.
Fair enough. You and Kiamora make your way over into the training room, where you got like some dummies and obviously all like your training weapons and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Soft mats, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. So I like to imagine. So after after they've warmed up a little bit and gotten alive a little bit, they'll do some actual like one-on-one sparring. And kind of towards the end of that session, the normal amount of time that they go for, as they, Aaron, I need you to stop. Your smile, the beard, is covering your smile, and it just, oh my God. Anyway,
What a profile! God dang.
Wow. Someone should like carve a statue of that right there.
But as the two are sparring, in a moment, as their weapons lock, Cather, with a small smirk on his face, he'll say to Kimura, "It's like, so Lotta, oh my God, it's not Lotta, Volna, huh?" As he kind of pushes Kimura away.
Okay, listen. All right, are we sparring? Or are we talking here? Okay, like.
I don't know what's
I don't
going
know
on.
what you're talking about. He goes for your knee.
Yeah, as Cather takes a block.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when we went to go visit my family, I couldn't help but notice you were talking to her quite a bit that night.
Okay, she's a very beautiful and intelligent woman who had interesting points in the conversation. He says as he's like swinging slightly more aggressively at you each time.
Yep, 100%. And as he does, Cather will say, "So, do you fancy her?"
Yeah, I do. She's pretty great.
As he's distracted, Cather will take a step forward and lock his blade into the staff and pull the two of them close. As he just looks at them, it's like, "What? I'm not good enough for you?" He says, and he just kind of holds eye contact for a second before he pushes him away. I know, Aaron. I know, Aaron.
My guy.
And
just let it happen, Aaron. Just let it happen.
I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, you're like my best friend, but I don't. We haven't really talked about this, but listen, man, I don't swing that way, you know.
And as he says that, Cather comes in with another strike.
Ooh, the heartbreak.
And it stops just before hitting the neck as Kimura is off his guard. And he says, "I believe that puts me 6-5. I'm ahead now." As he
This is
kind of laughing to himself. After that, though, Cather will step away and kind of sit down and say, "Seriously, though, come over here, please."
I don't know if I want to anymore. You're being mean.
Please, sit down.
Yeah, okay. Kimura will go sit next to you.
For the record, I don't really swing that way either.
I didn't think you did. I was really confused as to what was going on. And
I was being,
the whole time I feel like people have been like watching us.
I've seen the
and
looks
there's been
that
like
Edward
this
and Abby
tension that's
give.
been like really palpable.
Yeah, and
you know,
the fan
and-
fiction weeps.
No, but on a serious note, I'm happy for you. And
Thanks. I'm I don't know. Obviously, I like her, but honestly, I really don't know her all that well. And I know, I know what happened with Weizen, and that's hard. And I don't want to make it more difficult for her. So maybe after all of this is over, maybe I can just see if there's an opportunity to get to spend more time with her and see how she's doing and if she's at all interested. And if not, then maybe I'll wait a decade and see.
maybe. Well, if you really do fancy her, I need you to promise me something, all right?
What's that?
Be there for her. She has already had plenty of people that she's lost, and more to come, I'm sure. She already lost a brother, already lost a fiance, and possibly gonna lose more friends. So, promise me you'll be there for her when you make it out on the other end of this, all right?
If she wants me to, then yeah, I'll be there.
Good. Thank you. And he just kind of gets
Okay,
a
but I need you to make me a
1,000 yard
promise.
stare for a second. Yeah, as he keeps talking.
I
Yeah.
need you to make me a promise then.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He kind of shoves your shoulder a little bit. No more dirty tricks while we're sparring.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Next time, just kiss him. Try to throw him off his guard. That's not a dirty trick. That's fair. That's in the rule book.
That's in the rope. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And they'll, I imagine, just kind of sit there in silence for a little while. 1,000,001 things going through Cather's head right now.
Should I not?
Do you think we can win? Actually? Like, I know you want to, and I know we're gonna do everything we can, but
Well, I've seen many horrors in my lifetime. Clovar is by far the worst. Just being in the same room as him, you can tell he is at the pinnacle of what it means to be powerful. I truly don't know. I know that if things stay as they are, we will not win. That being said, I do have some authority to wield. And even if it takes me another 100 lifetimes, I will make sure that that man's head rolls off his shoulders.
okay. If you think so, then I think so.
Cather will stand up and reach down a hand. Yeah.
Pull him up.
Good. Because I definitely need your help.
Well, I'm here. And he shoves you back into the into the ring. So let's do this again.
And then
They kiss.
they'll
Yeah,
finish the rest of their sparring session.
absolutely.
I like Kiyomura. I don't know if we've ever said that except for early on.
Thanks. Thanks,
I
buddy.
like Kiyomura.
I
I
don't
can
know.
clown on him, but I like the guy.
He's a nice guy.
I think he's
Overall,
alright.
Nice guy.
Little too nice, if you ask me.
That's the real thing. Is that Clovar is just another pawn in Kiyomura's game.
That's right.
Kiyomura was absolutely going to betray us earlier, and I still don't think it's out of the question. I
That
have
would be
yet
a
to fully
crazy-
come to terms with him.
Maybe.
Since
Then again,
like
I'm half convinced that like Cather and Edward are also going to betray. I might betray us.
oh, I mean Edward is definitely a maybe.
yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody's
Every-
gonna. This is why this group is so dysfunctional. Is because everybody thinks that everybody else is gonna betray them.
Exactly, and those that fear. It's like the government where we hold each other in like checks and balances.
Checks and balances.
Where like we
Exactly.
all have a knife to the other person's throat.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
The
Spider-Man
moment
meme.
someone makes a move,
Yeah, if one person makes a move, everybody's throat gets slit.
absolutely.
It's like the situation with all the nuclear warheads in real
Yeah.
life.
Everyone just pointed at everyone else. Like, it could be me. Could be you. Could be
As
anyone.
the rest of you guys wake up and begin to get breakfast and tea going and all this type of stuff, we're going to go ahead and take our break real quick. We'll be back in just like 10-15 minutes and see what the rest of the chaos that this crew gets up to in the rest of the session. So yeah, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, and we are back.
Woo.
So we left off with everybody having woken up.
Not sponsored
you
by
guys
Muckroot Beer.
are making a plan. And then, yeah, so Cather and Kiyomura will say, you guys, we are just getting done sparring. We're all sweaty. We got towels to wipe the sweat off of our faces. We walk back into the kitchen and we find Edward and
Apathy.
I kept wanting to say Leshka, and I don't know why.
Leshka does come downstairs too.
And Edward is slinging those pancakes on
Edward,
the
you making
stove.
pancakes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We
I would
won.
love
This is our celebration brunch.
I'm eating
Edward.
porridge.
You're going to have a pancake, Abinthy.
I mean, of course I'm going to have a pancake. What do you think? I am some kind of loon?
Leshka is just sitting at the table, somewhat hunched over, just nibbling on it like in a circle.
Cather, come here. Come here.
Yes.
Hurry.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Get that apron on.
Okay.
Take off your shirt.
Throws on an apron.
I need you to start chopping these potatoes finely into strips, please.
Oh,
The
okay.
term is to julienne them.
Okay.
Come on, the saute
yeah.
is almost ready.
Okay,
We have to
okay,
throw them in
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Hurry.
A saute is a way to cook something, not an actual thing.
I am sauteing peppers and onions
There you
and
go.
That is
garlic.
acceptable. I'm just
Hurry,
judging-
Cather.
Catherine,
I'm just
he's
judging
doing it. He's doing
Edward.
it. He's doing it. Do you not see my
Roll-
role play of me
roll-
chopping?
Roll sleight of hand.
Wait, let him cook.
Hey. What'd you get?
Well,
You have advantage.
I have advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It's
great.
a small knife.
Because that was a natural 1 -1 for 0.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count though, because it's advantage.
Cather cut off all of his fingers and julienne those.
9.
All right,
Okay.
they're
It's all right. They're fine. They're not.
Yeah, they're not as
by no
fine
means.
as I'd like, but they have to go in.
They're
They
more
have to
like,
go in.
but instead of fries, they're more like wedges.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think it'll still taste good. They cook. All right, everybody. Everybody's sitting at the table now. Theoretically.
Lana comes out as well.
Yes.
Grabs some cakes. So you got all 7 of you guys.
Edward will stand and ting his glass, ting, 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 and hold it very refined. And he'll glare at Abinthy because he started eating, and
I've been
clearly,
eating, buddy.
and he'll continue. I would like to congratulate us all for our first major victory against our terrifying and seemingly indomitable foe. But we're up against 4 dragons, and we're all here alive. After the toast, please.
Oh,
We're all
sorry.
here alive. So I'd like to toast Aventhy. During
Yeah.
the toast, I would like to toast to Fate's Gambit, and those before us, and those who are in our cause. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Yeah.
Fate's Gambits. To Fate's Gambits. Yes.
Leshka?
Leshka.
As he has
Heck
like
yeah.
5 pancakes stuffed in his cheeks.
See,
Not as good as the
That
original
takes a
pancake
lot of
scene.
energy.
We're all shirtless.
Oh, everybody's shirtless.
Well, not everybody.
anyone
God
who's
is not
played by a
shirtless.
person, shirtless.
So
I don't consider DJ a person.
fair. That allows me to do the things that I
Exactly, you're inhumane.
I can't be a person.
Wait, but-
otherwise,
Wait, but Aaron,
It
that means
belongs to my-
Kiyomura isn't shirtless.
Kiyomura is definitely shirtless.
Kiyomura was never wearing a shirt.
Kiyomura hasn't been wearing a shirt at all during the session.
Kiyomura, yeah, he doesn't.
Kiyomura
I
doesn't
don't think
own
he
shirts.
owns a shirt. Yeah.
Kiyomura is not usually, unless he's like in full battle attire, he's not usually in a shirt.
Honestly, right on, man.
It's
More
old,
power
it's
to him.
old video game logic, except Kiyomura is a guy, a girl
Even-
in it.
Even when he pulls like his armor on, an illusion is cast, so you can just see right through it.
That's right.
He
That's
just
right.
has-
It really
he has
throws
the,
the enemies off when they hit him, and it stops 2 inches outside of his body.
And they're like, what?
It's
witchcraft?"
essentially he essentially just has Invisalign armor that just
Exactly, yeah.
suctions
Well-
right onto
Well,
his
he has
pecs.
what he has is he has his superhero suit of his skin tight latex armor. You know, so you
Yeah,
can,
and
so
he
you can
actually has a
still see
pump
all the abs.
where he can-
you know.
where he can pump out the
Vacuum
liquid.
seals.
You know,
That's why he
and then
always
it-
looks so ripped, is because
and
he's
then it's
literally
just
just
tight.
vacuuming all the moisture out of his body.
so tight,
Permanently dehydrated.
everywhere.
Yeah,
He can't even breathe. He hasn't breathed since we've met him.
errors for the week.
Bro looks like one of those stretch me Armstrong thingies or whatever they're called.
Yeah, this
You know how Goku
Yeah.
like walked around with weighted like cuffs
everything, yeah.
on the shirts and everything like that.
Spoilers.
This is how Kiyomura gets stronger. Is he's been doing everything without air. As soon as he breathes, Kovar's just dead.
He's like wearing like one of those really dumb like respirator masks that's supposed to like simulate being in the mountains that just like might
Yeah.
kill you.
That like super cracked gym bros will wear when they're like
And
sprinting on
it
the
has been
treadmill.
scientifically proven that all it does is increase the chance of death. It doesn't
Well,
do
we all
anything.
know
Doesn't
that
help you in
masks are
any way.
ineffective, Aaron.
Whoa.
I mean, it depends on the mask you're wearing.
Hey, if any of you are all fitness nerds out there, don't wear the like mountain respirator masks because
Don't
you
do
might
it.
die.
Don't
It's
do
just
it.
like, hey, what if we ran but we couldn't breathe?
What if we
That's all it is.
pushed our muscles to our limit, but we didn't give them oxygen?
Yeah. That's not a good thing. How was your
So we're still talking
garlic
about this, right?
DM, have
Yeah,
we
you got
successfully
garlic
stalled
bread
for
back.
you?
quick. Well, we kind of vamped. We got onto like respirators.
bread? You want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you said that you had 7 minutes until your garlic bread came out of the oven, I've been keeping track of the time, and I knew to start something that would take us into the time once we hit 7 minutes.
Hans says we're on something else tonight.
Aaron-
We're on mug root beer, baby.
Your level of professionalism just astounds me. I
was
love
like,
it. That is
Time
some
has
like
come.
that is some like manager level style right
Yeah.
there. You know,
I'm glad
This is
one
why you're in
person
charge.
here at least is paying attention closely.
Anyway,
So, what's the plan?
Well,
that's a great question.
Leshka, Lada, you should get going. I hate to cut our reunion short,
That is true.
but the longer you're here, the more likely someone else is going to be that we don't want them to be.
That is, yes. It was nice to sleep in a bed, as Leshka says as he's looking around, and
So-
he just looks down at his plate and just goes.
Lada, I should say, we've never been formally introduced, I don't think.
Hi.
It is an absolute experience to meet you. Ever since I first started out on my journey, the tales of your group have been some of my biggest inspiration for journeying
so
myself. It is an honor to meet you in the flesh.
It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. It has been clear to me that leaving my friends here in your powerful hands is a good option. So I have appreciated you quite a bit.
Well, it means the world for you to tell me that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Also, Lada, you always have a place to stay here, or in Athala.
I know. I got lots of places.
Always.
To stay. I mean, I
As-
still got my shack out back and all this. It's just that Leshka, I feel like he goes a little crazy when he's by himself too much. He's definitely somebody that needs a person with him.
Well,
So-
I will admit, Lotta, it has been like old times.
Except with hopefully less of you dying, if I've heard the stories.
Well, so far, yes.
Yeah, I do my best to make sure he's the one that takes care of most of the combat. I just make sure that he stays up, and it works
You
out
do
really
good
well.
work.
Thank you.
Very good work.
But yes.
Catherine,
Anyway, you
before-
sir
before
also
we-
need to stop complaining about your bed. I made you your bedroll every night, and if you don't like it, you can suck it.
Cather, here.
Roast him.
I would like you to take this, please. And he actually will hand Cather just a kind of like a bead bracelet, except instead of beads, it's like little
It's a friendship bracelet.
little stones that have little runes carved into them. And he says, this should make it much easier to meet up in the future. Yes, thank you. That's great. Well done. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because having an item makes it way easier to teleport to places.
It is a friendship bracelet.
I was like, what the freak are you doing, Drew?
I just was enjoying Drew role-playing with himself.
It's always
I
great
wanna-
to roleplay with yourself.
I would love to stay here and continue what's happening. I like it. Yeah.
Right. All right.
For the
well,
rest of us,
this was great. Yes, to see you again.
Actually,
Lotta,
before you
Leshka.
get started, the less we know also would be the better, in case
yes,
Yes, that is true. In case we get
Leshka
captured
and I
and
should...
tortured.
Yeah, simple solution. Don't.
That's the plan, but backups
Just
to
keep
the plan are
running.
important too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure. As Leshka will walk over to Lotta and take her hand and give
Thank you.
just a nod to everyone again, and they both disappear, teleporting to an unknown place.
We'll never know. As I was saying, as for the rest of us, we should go meet with the Chosen today. I think that's probably going to be our best plan of action.
Yes, I haven't been there in quite some time. I'm actually very excited to be back.
Why are we meeting with the Chosen? So I know that they were like the original enemies of Clovar, but do they still hold any significance, or are we just like gathering information? What's the deal?
Yeah, the Chosen, I mean, Edward can probably explain it a little better than I, but they do still, they hold a lot of like secret positions of power and stuff like that, that they're like behind the scenes operators.
Like the Illuminati.
Okay,
Yes.
it's not a great framing of the thing. It's sort of true. The way
It's
I
pretty
think about it.
true.
Oh, okay.
Or the Knights of the Templar, or something like that.
Yes. The stonemasons.
The Stone Masons.
Well,
Wait, are you a part of a cult, Edward?
Yes.
so
He's absolutely a part of a pyramid scheme.
Okay, I've been meaning to say something since this all came about because I think it's rather obvious. A while ago, I learned that someone very close to me was in the Chosen.
Okay,
And
more
Like
over to-
was in the Chosen, or like still is in the Chosen?
is in the Chosen. Somebody who's very trustworthy, somebody who's been given a lot of responsibility, and someone who I trust with my life. They practically raised me. I'm not going to say who it is, but they practically raised me.
Your father.
Not my father. In fact, believe it or not, yo, that garlic bread looks
No.
scrumptious,
Unfortunately,
bro.
unfortunately, 4 years ago, we actually had to fight Edward's father
No.
because he was like a
That's
member.
rough.
Because he
Believe it
was
or
like a
not.
smaller member of the anathema or something.
His job was to ensure that Newgate, my father, wasn't doing anything too nefarious. That was his position. The Chosen are like watchers.
Well, he didn't seem to be very good at it. Seeing as you had to fight your father.
Is Prosius around anymore?
Yeah, but that wasn't them, though.
I suppose things kind of went bad
Well,
downhill.
yeah,
we
wasn't-
were gone
wasn't
for
that-
3 months.
that
Who
was
knows
you
what
guys
happened?
know that Phage
This
Gambit
besides
did
the point.
originally come together due to influences of the Chosen.
The Chosen,
yeah,
as
yeah.
far as I understand, is a group who holds the what are they called? DJ, like the original principles or something? Like
The
How
whole
would-
Bible.
how could that be said that they'd
they
understand
adhere to
what I mean?
the like original beliefs that Laurentari instilled in humanity.
The original.
Yeah, Edward
the
says
10
that.
Commandments.
That's
And
right.
since that time, they've just kept a watchful eye, and they have incredible resources. And everybody I've met and all of the history I've learned is quite all right. It's not really my cup of tea from the beginning, but it made a lot of sense. And so I have been Abinthy knows plenty about this. For a while now, I've been fulfilling tasks that they ask of me under an alias.
Much really.
Wait.
I
Edward,
don't think I want
Edward,
you
are
to
you
know
a,
that.
are you a vigilante?
Vigilante is a strong word. It's a strong word. I'd say more like a
Like a
Oh,
caped
a
crusader.
bit of an Some
Like
people
a-
have
like
said
a-
that in
Like a
headlines.
dark
yes.
knight of sorts.
Is this around Athala? Are you? Wait. We're talking about the.
This is.
Wait a minute.
You need to broaden your mind a bit. It's beyond Athala. This is
Beyond Athala.
worldwide.
Wait,
Hitbull.
you're worldwide or the Chosen's worldwide?
The Chosen is. I guess I do. I handle things more
I mean, it's
locally. but
both.
I have traveled quite far.
How far have you traveled?
Yes.
Don't look. You wouldn't be able to guess it in a million years. I know you wouldn't.
Have you gone to the
Um,
Moonshade?
I'm not giving you any more. I've already said more than I have
Probably
a.
should.
I have a
Very
non-disclosure
Wait.
agreement.
Wait. But Edward, it's us. Okay. If anybody, how can we help you if we don't even know,
You know,
who you are?
I've been trained in this exact situation to say I can't tell you,
Edward.
But it's
and
me,
I'm
buddy.
sorry.
Edward.
I've already told you more than I ought.
Edward, we're about to go talk to them.
Yeah, and when
We're
they
about to go
give-
meet everybody. What do you
when
mean
they
you can't
give-
tell us?
Give him permission to say the things, then you'll know. Look, from what I've learned of the Chosen, they have far too much paperwork, way too much litigation, and like to take way too many steps to get anything done. So if you want to know things, you have to go through 17 different processes. You have to speak to the manager and their manager, and then probably a supervisor. Do you have a supervisor? Of course. you have a
Okay, it is
supervisor.
clunky. It's annoying. I need you all to promise me something. Edward gets very serious. You've seen Edward joking serious. Edward gets serious about this. Okay.
Oh boy. What does that look like, Grant?
I can't do it. I'm gonna giggle. I'm an actor.
You are an actor. Come on, bring it up.
I can't do this.
Do it.
Man.
Yeah.
Do it.
I can't.
Never
do
you've
this,
asked.
man.
Now, on cue. Do it.
I can't do
All
it.
right, let me set the scene. All right, so
can't do
you're in a
this.
fantasy world. All right, and you're playing a bard,
Bro, you're just
you're a
making me
bard.
giggle more.
a bard who is
Okay, ready?
trained in the martial arts.
You need to listen to me right now. You can't tell anybody what I'm about to tell you. You can't write it down. You can't do it telepathically. Do you understand?
Just not really serious.
I need everybody to turn off their cellular devices and leave them on the table. Thank you.
I
I'll make
lean
sure
over
the
to
mic
Abinthy.
gets Scryed on.
What's a cellular device? Is that
If
like an
you
advanced
know-
sending stone?
If you don't know, then you aren't supposed to.
Is that like advanced like cups, like
They're
talking on
sending
a
stones,
string?
but they're rich and
Serious.
powerful.
I don't think you understand the kind of scale we're talking about. This isn't some rinky-dink group that formed because they think something. This has been instated since ancient times. This is something that has had the time to spread and had the time to build for thousands of years. Is that right, DJ? Sort of. I also want to make sure everything's
About 1,000 years.
okay.
1,000 sounds better though, so definitely keep it at that.
If you think the world is bad as it is, it wouldn't be anywhere where it is now without the Chosen. Okay? All I'm saying is if they find out that somehow the word gets out, and they will track it back to here, and bad things could happen. Do we understand?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need a yes, Kiyomura.
Yes.
Yes. It
absolutely.
sounds. Yes. It sounds serious. I
As
can.
what
I
I'm
can.
about to
I can
show
tell by
you-
the expression on your face and the tone of your voice.
What I'm about to show you is something you cannot tell anybody. And I mean it. This
Okay.
stays in the keep. But I think it's better I show you than I don't.
Okay.
Edward stands and leads them all down a very tight corridor that you access from behind, like a statue or whatever. Sure.
Cather's too broad, so he has to like shimmy sideways.
Yeah. And it's got stairs that go down. And it leads to... You all have been to Edward's private quarters under his, like, private quarters. It's nice, you know, there's like a mini bar, there's a spot to play music. This is like... You could intuit that this is under Edward's private area, but it's accessed through a very secret means, right? He leads you through a very tight, dim, like stair corridor, and it opens up into a room. And this room has tall ceilings and is only lit from like the ground level, somewhat dimly, with purple lights and green lights, and then some like normal ones too. And it's a pretty spacious area. Even though it shares the space with his private quarters, it's pretty big. And you can see like strange vials of things on the walls. You can see like a table that's like got maps on it and that has documents and that has letters. And you can see like on the far wall up some steps, there's a like statuette with clothing on it. And this clothing has a deep purple cape around a deep green like set of clothes under it. And it has a mask and a hood, a dark green mask and a purple hood. And Edward turns and says, "Welcome to my second job."
You're the Pied Piper?
Whoa! Oh, how do you know that?
There are so many articles written about you.
Yeah.
He puts
but how
on, he
would
puts
you
on his
know about it?
old-timey news hat, and he's like, I've written several.
I couldn't help but just think of like the meme of like, oh look, it's a platypus, and then he puts on a hat. It's like, Perry, there, the platypus.
I need you all to understand, though. Yes, I'm the Pied Piper.
Dude,
And-
like, the Pied Piper is awesome. I never would have expected you to be the Pied Piper.
Cather leans
that's
Cather
weird.
leans over to Abinthy and says, "Who's the Pied Piper?"
I pull out the first edition comic book.
No,
There's a-
Abinthy, I told you to get rid of that. We're trying to.
I
We're trying not to get the word to spread.
It's a classic, and they really do look. I look fantastic in it.
Wait.
Yeah, you
wait.
do. You look
Abinthy.
really good in the comics.
Abinthy,
In fact,
do
they
you-
made you the.
Did-
Yeah. Well,
Have you been helping Edward with this?
Yes. I'm. My name is not as interesting. I'm the Rat. He's
You're the
Pied
Rat?
Piper. Yes.
The
he's
rat's the
Pied
best part
Piper.
about the Pied Piper.
Trust me.
that's what people.
I've read the comic book. I hand the book and I say, well, so Edward, well, it's a long story, but Edward and I ended up in a situation where our interests aligned, and he needed assistance and I needed to weigh in. And that's how it was somewhat revealed to me that he was the Pied Piper.
Is this how you two first met?
Not first, man.
No,
It was a
no,
ways
it
in.
took. Yeah, it took a
Had
while.
to
Is this
build
what
up
you
a lot of
guys do when
trust
you're
for
off by
that.
yourselves?
Yes, every time.
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's a
Yes.
lot. You notice sometimes I'm really tired in the morning. Usually it's because I was out. I need you to understand something. This isn't because I just like doing this all the time. This is legitimately. This is what I've been told to do. I've taken some liberties, but the chosen asks me to do things, and I do them.
You were a part of a group that saved the world. And while you're a part of that group, you moonlight as a superhero?
You know,
Well,
here and
hold on.
there. When
Hold on.
I'm
Bold term.
It's actually, I think it's actually more than that. It's Edward is a part of a famous adventuring group who has helped to save the world, while also being a part of a secret syndicate that protects the world, while also being a superhero. And also being like one of the rulers of Athala.
Edward, you just became
I
the
have
worst
my
person I've
fingers
ever
in
met
a
my
lot of.
life.
I don't know.
I'm
I've had
so
a lot
sorry
my
for ever
fingers.
making fun of you. Ever.
He's a man of many hats.
I was going to say,
I have my fingers in a lot of
a
pies.
jack of all trades, as it were.
It's been a while since I've been. You can see the dust on the cape. They look over and there's dust on the cape. and there's dust on the maps and things. It's been a while since I've been out. You see, the Chosen understands that the other things I do are important, but you have to understand. Once everything happened, I needed another way to be a part of something, I guess.
So-
It helped me. And
Does Sam know?
I don't.
There have been
No, I don't
a couple
think-
of very close
no,
moments
I don't-
for sure.
Having close calls, I
But
don't.
there was a
think,
time that you kissed her while upside down. I remember that. That was
yeah, I did that.
you were like, hey,
Well,
I
you
had to- I was-
encouraged it. You
I-
encouraged it. You were the one that you said. Watch this, and you
Can you-
lowered me down.
Can you fault me though? You married her.
No.
I think that's just proper wingbagging.
Ah, she's gonna be upset.
okay. And
So she
You
doesn't.
all have to understand. You can't tell anybody about this.
right.
Well, no, obviously, I mean, we never want to share your secret, but like, your wife
yeah.
should probably know that you're moonlighting as a vigilante.
I agree. I didn't think of it. It was a quick wedding, and also, if you could please hand that back, Kiyomura. You're holding the only signed copy in existence, and
Wait, who's it signed by? Like the author?
you told me to sign it, and I said no. And
Who did
but
I
I
get to
did.
sign this?
I was, look,
Kiyomura.
I had
So-
a lot of wine that night.
so Edward, like, did this start happening after like Fate's Gambit kind of disbanded?
Yes, it really took flight as the keep was structured. That's when I had access
I
to the
see.
teleportation circle. And I trust them. I do. I've done so much for them, and they've done so much for me in return. As annoying as they can be.
Do you have like a rank?
I'm
Nice.
kind of a special case. They have a lot of people who go and gather information or do things for them. What'd you say?
KNIGHT. The DM just
Oh,
said that
knight.
your rank is knight.
Oh, kind of a special case. I knew somebody. I was kind of on my own, so they kind of brought me in, but I was also useful, and I'd be considered a knight. Like knight. I've been knighted by the Chosen.
Yeah,
Knight
you're a knight.
Ebenthar. That kind of has like a nice ring to it too.
Now it's I will
Kind of
say
like,
that
wait,
the
I want to
hiring
join
process
this
is
society.
the hiring process is a little clunky, and there are some there are a lot of paperwork and some problems with.
That's
Look,
that's all right. That's all right.
have-
I'm
you
already
have-
in my own secret organization. It's okay, Edward. I don't need to be a part of yours.
Wait, you're part of a secret
Okay,
organization
we don't
too?
have to
What
be
do you let me in on
cracking
this?
jokes
I
about
thought we were
this.
friends, man.
Well, I mean, it's not really a secret organization. I'm just meaning that I'm a member of the White Guard.
Don't worry, Kiyomura. You and I can just be people who have no associations with anything. It's much cooler to be a lone wolf anyway.
I will say,
I mean,
Abinthy doesn't
Kiyomura
like the
is like a
Chosen.
royal knight of a kingdom.
Oh,
I mean, that's true
big
too. Like,
whoop.
I was, well, I mean, actually, I was kind of like dishonorably discharged because kind of failed at
And
that,
then you went AWOL.
and then I kind of went AWOL.
Eh,
Well, there
No
were a lot of
deal.
things going on.
I've been knighted 3 times. 2 of the kingdoms that did it
What?
are completely burned to the ground, and the third one I was dishonorably discharged. So we're in good company.
Anyway, so about getting to the
We
Chosen.
kind of suck at being this like knights thing, don't we?
That's because knights suck.
Okay.
No offense, Edward. Slash cat.
No offense,
None
Captain.
taken. None taken.
Anyway, so about getting to the Chosen, we have a way to do that.
Yes, I know them, and we have a teleportation circle. I know where they are. Of course, we have to go to the church. It's where they. Oh boy, you're going to know so much. I'm going to hear about this. I did not file anything. That's one problem with having like an ancient organization is that they just they're often late to the game in updating their systems and getting new softwares. It's a headache. Everything's just pen and paper over there.
What software?
Well, so unlike hardware, it's soft.
So it's like squishy.
Yeah, close enough.
I guess.
Don't worry, Edward. They're used
It's
to
leather armor
completely-
versus plate armor.
Yes, that's a good explanation. Edward, tell you what, you bring us to the place, and then if they start throwing a fit, I'll take care of it because they're used to me completely disregarding any formalities when it comes to them. So,
I'm scared, but you're also right. You have managed to cut some corners.
Well, I mean, if they have
I
like
ha-
really
I-
old leather armor that they're all wearing, like I'm sure they can't be that hard to fight them off.
no, the thing is, they're wearing that because they don't need it.
I also need you,
What?
and Kiyomura's not here at the very moment, but he'll also need to hear this. I need you to also promise me another thing that you won't tell.
I'm
That's
super
okay.
ready. What's up?
The Chosen, they don't really know that I go under the guise of the Pied Piper. And
Wait.
You're
Wait,
part of a secret
can't-
society that you're using to be the Pied Piper, and they don't even know that you're the Pied Piper.
Look, do you realize how bad it would be for my PR as a leader of Athala if they found me in some random town arresting somebody? Wouldn't that raise some red flags for some voters or something? I don't know.
But
It
I'm
was
just-
for
I'm-
my best interest.
Well, I understand why, like, the city of Athala shouldn't know, but why are you keeping it from, like, the Chosen?
They
don't
wouldn't
want them-
approve.
I don't want them to say I can't.
Look, they have to be in uniform.
Yeah.
It's a whole mess.
I have it. It's in the chest over there.
Never been used. It's terribly designed, badly stitched, and
Ab-
frankly,
and
just
honestly,
disrespectful.
when
to anyone who
Abinthy
gets how to make
offered-
clothing.
When Abinthy offered to make a cloak, I couldn't say no. Do you realize how many things you could fit in the pockets? I mean, dragon flower bombs, crazy acid and stuff. It's really fun. Smoke.
It's literally the brand Acid and Stuff. It's honestly a marvel.
Okay. Well, it seems like we've been sitting here talking about the Chosen. How about we actually go and talk to the Chosen?
Sounds good to me. Be prepared to root out any unfortunate
Yes,
ne'er-do-wells.
that is actually a fair point. Should there be a way for us to perhaps prep some Abinthy? I think you have the magic as well as Leshka did
Yes,
to
for
connect
some
us.
mind talking.
Yes.
Yes, I'm on it.
It seems like that would probably be a good idea since we might get separated and
Yes,
we don't
I'll
know who
cast
we
it
can
on the way to the
trust.
teleportation circle. Very well. Shall we?
Be
take our leave?
respectful and don't say anything if you think you maybe shouldn't say it. They're nice people, but they play it pretty close to the chest. Also, if they ask why we smell like a dragon flower, because they know about dragon flowers. There was an incident once where somebody had
Do we
set off a dragon flower in the Anyways,
Do we smell like
Definitely
dragon
not
flowers?
me, but
if anybody smells, well, I'd like
we
it to
grow
smell like
them in the
dragon flower in
garden.
here. We
It-
grow,
I mean-
yeah.
I mean, we did just fight 4 dragons, so
yes, that's it. That's it. Yes.
I mean, I still haven't fully cleaned my armor actually from that fight. I haven't had the time.
Yeah, frankly, none of us bathed, so we probably smell horrid. I don't think that the dragonflower scent will be too much of a problem. Let's get going. I'm going to cast gushing the telepathy or whatever.
Rary's
telepathic bond. That's the one on the way there as a ritual.
you guys link up telepathically. You head over to your teleportation circle. Edwards punches in the code, and you guys find yourself in that ever familiar sensation, your stomach dropping out, and warping across space and time. A little bit longer of a pause. It's like instantaneous. There's just a half an instant longer than instantaneous. You know.
We see a little arcane eye show up and like look at all of us.
Yeah, the 3 dots, and it just says
I
checking to make sure your server is secure.
That's
I will
right.
also say
You have to go
that
through
Edward
customs.
did change into his chosen uniform, and it is just so ugly. It's like a
I mean,
It's
I would
like
imagine you could shift weave into it, right? Like, do you not have that as an option?
No, I refuse
No.
to put that in my shift
Yeah.
weave.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can tell there's like creases where it was
Oh,
folded,
from where it
hasn't
hasn't been ironed out
and it
yet.
has that like chest smell.
It's like a
Um,
school uniform that they tried to make look adult, but it just looks stupid.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it looks. He has that little like scarf thingy.
Yeah,
Actually,
the
He doesn't really
ascot.
like, and yeah,
Typically,
the
you'd actually be
ascot.
wearing,
And,
like full plate mail with like a maroon sash,
yeah.
gold accents. So it'd actually be like kind of cool. But whatever.
Kiyomura,
Just
did
the worst.
you wear school uniforms?
Terrible.
We don't like we have school, but it's like we kind of like sit in like commune around this tree.
Yeah, well, that's how it is for us in Rivaluna too. Like, we don't really like have like a designated.
Yeah, you guys like
dress
sit on the
code.
beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be clear.
Sorry about
here,
the fireworks, by the
The
way.
chosen armor looks cool, but the chosen office uniform is horrible.
Absolutely, I agree. But Edward's not in armor. He's not.
Yeah, he's
fighting.
just in the like day to day.
I
It's
guess that's
just
true. You're not
gross.
a member of the Artemis family. You'd be a part of the Thane family, I think. So,
I think so. Which
You
one
just
was
said
that again?
you just said 2 words.
so
On it,
there are 3 families that run the Order of the Chosen.
Yeah.
And each one has a different subdivision of power. So, like the family Artemis, they're like the fighty, brawny big boys. They fight the monsters and they take down the bad guys, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
Then you have
Gryffindor.
the family Rain, which are the magic boys. They're the ones that like maintain and protect the weak.
Ravenclaw.
They like learn about it. And then you have the family Thane, which are the historians, the ones who collect lore and protect it and do all that type of stuff. So like the Scholar's Guide was founded by the family Thane.
And
way back
if
when.
I can jump in here,
Mhm.
this is part of the reason why Edward is a bit of a special case for the Chosen. He is a part of the Thane, like the
There's a little bit of everything.
Order of the Thane family.
Mhm.
But most Order of the Thane will go and like collect knowledge and report things and like maybe recover some like artifact. Edward does that, but like crank the dial up to 11, where if for any reason, if the Thane is like, this might be dangerous and also we don't really want people to know about it, they'll get Edward to go and do it.
That's
so like
that's when they get the Slytherins involved.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's also probably one of the reasons why you have the Pied Piper thing, because I like to imagine that like if you were put in the like Artemis family, it would be very like you would be considered meek, but here you're like the bad boy.
That's
yeah,
right.
they're like,
exactly.
"Oh,
It
shoot."
literally.
They're sending
Exactly.
that guy. Things
And-
must be real.
Yeah, so I just instead of like he occasionally fights and he occasionally like will incarcerate people, I guess, or like at least arrest them or tie them up and leave them kind of thing. Most of the time he's like very stealthy.
He's kind of the Indiana
and
Jones. of
That's
the
what I was about to
organization.
say. He's
Yeah.
closer to Indiana Jones, but he's like going after like bad guys, I guess. So it's like, yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
Indiana Jones punches Nazis all the time. It's
It's
great.
true.
I mean,
That's,
that
like,
is
the
true.
main
That is in
thing.
the movie. Yeah. So yeah, just so you guys know, that's why Edward's kind of a special case. And I don't know if he would have dove quite that specific with all of you, but you guys
know.
kind of get the
We can
hint
feel
that
it.
yeah, exactly.
Abinthy absolutely informs everyone else.
And I'd also like to say
Edward's a
I'd
special
also-
case.
everybody's ascots are like tied tightly and everything. Edward's is like loose. I don't know.
What are you guys
Edward's is
doing?
like
Because
loose
if you
and
guys
his
took
guts
Took
are
this extremely
undone.
cool organization, decided that you wanted to hate on it, and then have ruined everything.
No, because this has to be one of the reasons why Abinthy hates them.
Because
Just-
they're fashion.
On principle, their fashion is horrible,
And
he
so
would- he would
anyways-
never.
Edward is just a little less put together by everybody else. A little more rough around the edges.
The collar is
gosh.
popped.
The collar's up. The cuffs are undone.
You look like
He
a
has a,
like
he has a
the
chain
stereotypical-
hanging
shirt is
around
on
his
top.
waist.
You're not a bad boy out of high school.
like a Japanese gangster.
He's got a couple
Like-
couple
like
rings
the
on his
old
finger.
school.
gosh. Oh my,
He's got the
I love it,
aviators
dude.
like tucked in his pocket, like sticking
This
out a
is
little bit.
beautiful. This is so much better than anything you ever could have made it.
He's got the
DJ.
flute. He's got the flute like strapped to his hip.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely. Because
It's
in
in,
a
it's in a
holster.
thigh holster as well.
Yeah, he's got a quick
Edward's
draw,
always
you know.
strapped, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
he
You guys,
carries that thing on him, bro.
you guys fly through space and time before arriving in this kind of catacombs teleportation circle area. You can tell that you're far underground with very gothic architecture all around you. It's very, very structured. It's very detailed, beautiful carvings into it that you can, to Abintha, you're like, that's just overkill. Like, why does
Yeah.
everything have to be pretty?
That's
You know, like
ridiculous.
it's like simplicity is nice. But then to Catherine, like to Kiyomori, he's like, everything's so pretty. Everything has beautiful faces on it. There's angels carved into every wall. It's amazing. But yeah, it's lit by torches. And when you arrive in the teleportation circle, there's this one guy. He's wearing the armor with the maroon sash. He's got his feet propped. He's sitting in like a wooden chair. He's got his feet propped up on a little stool, and he's just like, kind of like leaning against the wall, passed out. And then you guys arrive, and he's like,
Hey, Jade.
Mr. Fellows. We weren't
It's been
expecting.
a while.
Or were we?
I sent a message.
Actually,
Yes.
yes. Hey, could you not tell Jude about that?
Yeah, sure. Sure, Jade. I won't tell Jude.
Yeah, man, you're super cool. Thanks. Anyway,
We are
yeah,
telling
anything-
Joe, though,
bro.
without a doubt.
right on in.
Are you kidding me? Like, we're homies, man.
We've
Thanks.
known each other
Yeah.
forever.
All right, I got your back, man. Just let me know if you ever need anything. Okay?
And by the way, I still haven't told anybody, so he
Hey,
winks at him.
hey,
I
DM,
appreciate that.
DM. As we begin to walk past Jade, Cather, just for the fun of it, he's gonna squint really like hard at him, really unnecessarily. It just what's the vibe? Is this guy a spy?
See, trader.
Is he secretly a member of the Anthema?
Roll an insight check
No,
for
no,
me.
Captain's
Let's
on
go.
point, my guy.
I want Drew to do this to every single
character.
NPC that he meets.
Just you
I just
wait,
wanna
buddy.
remind them.
So this is a
They a
beautiful
spy?
thing. I really hope that like most of the organization is a spy, except for Jade.
Hey, DM, that would be a dirty 20.
Listen, man. Jade might be an idiot, but he's a loyal idiot.
All right.
Yeah, he's definitely an unpaid intern.
Like Cather,
Like-
Cather like squints at him and like gets like real close and gets right up in his face just to make him a little uncomfortable. And then he just puts a hand on his shoulder. It's like, you're all right. And he keeps walking.
Okay, thanks.
Don't mind him. He's moon elves. I just keep going.
As they're walking, Edward will just say, take it easy. As they walk down the corridor farther and they pass Jade, Edward will just kind of turn over his shoulder and say, yeah, he's the son of one of the higher ups. There's a little bit of like nepotism. He's an intern, but I like him. It's just a hard life, you know? And they get up to the next door, I guess.
Yeah, you guys get to the staircase. And you begin making your way up. You go about four flights of stairs before arriving at the main level. The landscape around you. Picture not necessarily like a European church. I don't want to say, but kind of that style of architecture on a larger scale, where you have this massive central lobby where you have these big, massive tiled floors. Like it's a tile floor, but like each tile is like a 10 by 10 box,
Wow.
you know, and they make up this design across it. And it's probably 600 or 700 feet long by about like 500 feet wide. Like it's just this massive room with 4 levels of, with 4
Ears.
floors. Excuse me, that's what I'm trying to get. Floors up above it that have open banisters that look over this massive lobby, and there are tons of people running around all these different doors. There's about 6 sets of stairs that lead up, and there's central waiting areas, there's potted plants, there's all this type of stuff, and it's busy. It looks like the NASDAQ on like when it just opened up, just traders everywhere. Not traders, but you know what I mean.
But there are traders everywhere.
No,
there's
Raiders
a
with a
hold
D,
up.
not
There's
a
a
different
hold up
Freudian
at one of the
slip, DJ.
at one of the staircases because it didn't magically shift back to where it's supposed to. It got stuck halfway, so it's having maintenance right now.
It's that there is so much construction going. It's like an airport where we're going to get to a door and they're going to say, nope, sorry, that one's closed. You got to go around, got to detour. 3 floors up, go down the stairs on the other side.
That's right.
Welcome to the Grand Hall of the Chosen. It's a bit loud.
I like to call it the Chose Den.
Ah, good one.
I'm a sorcerer with words.
I thought that was Leshka.
No, he's a sorcerer of the mind.
Oh.
At this point, from behind you, Edward, you feel a hand on your shoulder as this very, very tall man kind of steps around. He's taller than all of you guys. He's probably about as tall as Cather.
Yeah, he is.
He's about 6'4".
Oh wow!
Very
he actually is taller than Cather.
Oh, perfect. You can tell that he's a little bit on the leaner side. Not like Cather's like 6'2" and just straight.
Yeah, and he's just like a unit.
This guy's 6'4" and is probably about 20 pounds lighter than Cather.
He's
So
more
it's just
lithe.
all that mass spread out a little bit further.
Works a desk job, but sometimes goes to the gym.
Yeah, I would say kind of like a basketball build.
All right.
Like they're not just huge, but he's still.
But he can dunk.
Yeah,
They're doing
he
the
can still dunk.
the 3/4 squats to work on explosiveness.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Wearing this kind of large cloak wrapped around everything, so you can't really see what he has on underneath.
Yeah.
He has kind of sharp, almost elvish features, where he's got kind of a narrower face with slightly sharper, more pointed features like his nose and his chin, some thin lips. Not a particularly handsome guy, I'll be honest. And it's really interesting because he's got some like bushy, kind of scraggly facial hair, but it's kind of
To hide
patchy.
the lies.
What was that?
To hide his lies. This guy's evil for sure, guys.
Absolutely.
He's a
No,
supervisor.
he just looks evil.
He doesn't look evil. He just looks ugly.
Okay,
I've been raised on Disney. Ugly is evil unless it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't know what else to tell you.
He does look rather Pope. What's his bucket? No.
Yeah.
What's the guy? He's not the Pope.
Count von Frollo.
Yeah, he does look a little Frollo-esque, but like not in an evil way, But you recognize Jude Hensley, your handler, and the guy above you. Step it up. We can't hear you, Edward.
I know. I was just mouthing my handler because I thought it was kind of funny. Oh my goodness, these fireworks outside my window. You can hear that, right?
Very, very vaguely in the background.
Okay, good.
Like not
good,
enough
good.
to be
We're
an
good.
issue.
Ah, Jade. It's so good to see you again.
Jade was at the
Jude?
desk.
You've
Right,
known me for years.
I'm sorry. I do that a lot, don't I? Jude, it's nice to meet you again. I told you I was bringing some people today. These
yes,
are
absolutely.
these are the ones that helped me take out the dragons that were allied with Clovar.
Yes, good work with that.
Yes, we are the rest of Fate's Gambit. My name is Cather Ebenthar
Ebenthar, Yorkia
Kimura
Yes, I know who you
Abenthi
are.
Tripwitz.
Oh, we're acquainted.
You see Edward relax
Anyway.
a little bit now that he's fine that there are other people here with me.
DM.
Yes.
Cather squints real hard.
Yeah.
Gets just slightly too close.
Uh-huh.
What kind of vibe did you get?
You get real close and Jude just kind of like looks at you.
Yeah, he's just
Go
like,
ahead and roll an insight check.
all right. I already rolled and got a 15 on die, so that's a 16 total.
Evil for sure.
But the 16,
read.
like, he's an ugly dude, and probably a little pompous. but he's loyal.
All right. He's like,
He's one of those guys where he's like, I have worked my way up despite my ugliness and discrepancies and persecution against me.
and gosh darn it, I'm gonna keep it that way.
That's right. So
Yeah, Catherine's just like,
Edward will.
Catherine?
no, you can't. We're all good here.
Oh,
Don't mind him. Edward will stand as if he's done this 100 times. He'll like turn almost like how a soldier almost like stands straight for like a commander, I guess. He'll like turn and just say, "I carry with me knowledge for the sake of the family Thane."
Ooh, good line.
And
That's gonna-
Edward waits as if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect because we actually, or I should say, you all, even Abinthy, for
Dude.
whatever reason, you have a meeting with the heads of the families.
The heads of the families.
Are they finally getting back on my request? I'd do it for free to just modify the uniform.
I'm sure you could bring that up to them.
I send my designs in almost yearly.
I think they might be more interested if you actually were interested in joining.
It's for free. You look like a bunch of doofuses. I'm trying to help.
Nonetheless, I will lead you up to them.
Like you're wearing a cloak, but the point is to accentuate the outfit, not hide it. What are you doing, man?
Jude just starts walking.
Just don't even get me started on your shoes. Like, what are those?
As they're
He's just wearing platform Crocs.
as they're
They're just visible under his cloak that's hovering off the ground.
And those are company issued.
That's right. That's
As-
right.
as-
They have the chosen seal on the
Yeah,
side. No, it's
on-
one of those little charms that you can attach through the croc holes.
That's right.
It's just the chosen seal.
And the only reason that they're company issued is because they come with a sport mode, so that way if combat happens, you can flip them into sport mode and then you're ready.
as they're walking, Catherine mentally will say to the others, "All right, guys, I'm really good at reading people. I think so far these two are on the up and up."
I agree.
Edward can't respond, can
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
mental, yeah. You can just
yeah,
think
okay.
it. Jude is too much of a pompous prick to be evil. He's just the worst.
he? Okay, Abinthy, with all respect, I need you to tone it down a little bit. We're going to be talking to the heads of the
He
families
can't hear
here.
me. It's in my mind.
Me.
Right,
I will never
also-
forget what he did in Zanzibar, okay? I'll never forgive him for that.
I don't even want to know.
Okay. Also, who are these heads of the family? Like these are like the leaders, like the three leaders of like the chosen. Is that who we're talking
They're,
to?
yeah, while they're walking, yeah. Their lineage extends all the way back to the founders of the chosen, the ones that it was Lanantari, right? The ones that Lanantari herself appointed. Is that right? Yes, the ones that Lanantari herself appointed. So in a way, these are the predestined, so to speak, members or leaders of the chosen by Lanantari's own hand.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Go, we follow.
Yeah. We keep
Yeah.
going.
Jude continues to lead you up, and you go up about 6 flights of stairs. It is like Hogwarts where the staircases shift and move to different locations because it's just such a massive building. And so you are led up, and you notice that the higher up you go, the less the staircases move, and the less staircases there are. So it's like you have less and less options to get around and stuff like that. And eventually gets to a point where like the staircases aren't moving until Jude like specifically like mutters some stuff to actually get them to move to the correct offices, just as a small form of protection before eventually you arrive at the top floor. Arrive at the top floor. You arise to the top floor
Right.
and find yourself in this kind of another like lobby-esque area. This is a carpeted floor with kind of like this, like a red velvet carpet. And there's not a lot of actual rooms up here. You can see that there are, across this rectangular building, there's two offices on one end, and then an office on the tail end, and then the rest of the floor is this grand lobby area with books and tables and places to work and all this type of stuff. And you can see as you arrive at the staircase that kind of is in the middle of the floor, off to what would be your right at the head of the building, basically. If this were a table, the head of the table, you can see that there are 4 people sitting around a table with several other chairs, kind of waiting.
We've made it to the Gryffindor common room.
Yes.
Oh boy.
They're right down there. I believe you are already acquainted with Miriam Azima. She will be joining you for this conversation.
Lovely.
Let me know if I can assist you in any way.
You can.
Thank you, Jude.
Just keep walking.
You've been, and Edward looks at Abinthy like, come on,
Cather
man.
gives like a side eye.
You've
Like,
been-
what happened between those two?
You've been
Don't ask.
very helpful, Jude, as always. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Edward does the little chosen bow thing.
Yeah, you guys do a slight bow, and as you do, Jude kind of leans it a little bit further so he can kind of whisper into your ear. Be careful, don't mess it up. You got this.
Thanks, Jude.
And then he proceeds to start making his way down the stairs.
This is when Edward finds out that the Chosen does know about him being the Pied Piper.
And this is
Chosen
just an
knows everything.
intervention.
There are very few secrets with the Chosen.
Oh yeah, I'm convinced that they know, but they don't say anything.
Yeah, it
I
just
know.
drops down, and it's a little banner that just says, "You need to stop."
No, it's like somebody just walks up and just puts a newspaper down in front of me, and the headline is Pied Piper strikes again. And I'm like, what is this?
At this point, a middle-aged human woman comes kind of jaunting over. She has short, kind of like a bob of blonde hair, not like a Karen haircut, but what's not the one where it's angled, but it's like a straight cut kind of neck length
It's
or
a
jaw
bob.
length.
Yeah,
it's
the,
just
a bob.
the business Bob.
Yeah, kind of like that fun business bob, where you still have a personality, but
Yeah, when you
You're
it
not
hasn't
a
been
Karen?
snuffed out
What?
by humanity.
absolutely.
And trying to
She
cater
has-
to people.
Shorter hair. You can tell she has a few. You can tell she's probably in her late 40s, maybe going on early 50s. But a big bright smile, very bright blue eyes. She's wearing this kind of navy blue, kind of dress. I don't really know how to describe it. But she comes over to you. Hello. I am Julia Rain. It is a pleasure to make all of your acquaintance. The rest of us are waiting for you whenever you are ready to come over.
Edward and Fellows.
I am well
And-
aware. Edward, Cather, Kiamora, Abinthy. Also, Abinthy, thank you so much for the input on the uniform design.
You did
I've been
get
trying to
him.
get them to switch it out for 60 years now. And
Julia, I think we're going to be good friends.
well, also I
Just
read.
saying.
I was very impressed with your most recent book. Obviously, there's a few little tweaks, but
Trust me, I know. I've been told. I've been thinking of some things myself. Don't
I'm
worry.
very excited for the next edition. It was quite good.
Well, we should. I don't want to hold up this meeting too much, Julia. I'm gonna real quick under my breath, just so she can barely hear. Just go. Try to say what?
What did you say?
That's a what? That's a what? We got her, guys. We got her.
I totally missed what you said.
I said traitor.
Yeah,
say
Edward-
what?
Traitor, say what? Oh, I
Edward
see.
just says, "Don't you mind him? We're honored to be called by the heads of the families. Thank you.
Hey,
I look
DM.
forward to our conversation."
Hey, DM.
But yes, Abinthy is probably right. Yes, true.
What kind of vibe check do I get?
Nah. Here's the thing.
You
I'm
gotta do
with
the
him
whole
on this
thing.
one.
You gotta do the whole thing, Drew.
Yeah, Cather squints. He leans in. What kind of
Nah,
vibe
see,
does he
I'm with
get?
him on this one.
Go ahead and do an insight check.
Here's my tells whether or not a person is evil. First, over the age of 45. Second,
All old people are. All boomers are evil.
too nice. If
19
they
DM.
seem relatable or friendly,
19.
probably
19.
She's kind of bubbly. You can tell that she is a very, very kind person, kind of motherly. to a lot of people. You know, she's that like mom that like as soon as you're in her house, she considers you one of her children and will like feed you and take care of you and do everything. Kind of that type of a woman.
Evil for sure.
Evil for sure.
I
Absolutely.
love.
All like
See,
cover.
the chosen family people are gonna be great people, guys.
The vibe that you get is like wholesome, good woman who like kind of can go mama bear sometimes. Absolutely.
Is she our Hufflepuff leader?
Absolutely.
Hufflepuff
Yeah,
headmaster.
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
Catherine
she's probably fine.
just squints and leans back. It's like, all right, you're pretty good.
Yeah, they're destined to die as a plot device in a maze. So
That's right. She leads you over to the others. Like I said, there is a very, very large hearth with a large table in front of it. There's a couple of couches, some seats, lots of cushions. Very, very comfortable area to sit and to talk and discuss. And
The game is on quietly.
Yeah, that's right.
in the
Absolutely.
background.
You can see that Miriam Azima is currently with the other two as well, as Julia leads you guys over. Once you guys arrive, both these two other men both stand up. You see, one is a very tall, bookish, dark-skinned man. He's got a little bit of a salt and pepper beard going on, with closely, like a shaved head that's like 3 days out from the last time that he shaved. So it's just a little prickly.
A little bit of fuzz.
A little bit of fuzz. Definitely has some like very thick curly hair that's kind of like starting to come in again. Got some glasses. You can tell he's very bookish. He has an unfortunate like permanent frown with the wrinkles that he has. Again, fairly old for his age. He looks old for his age, unfortunately. But very, very tall, very bookish. And Julia introduces this, and this is Barca Thane. He's the head of your order. And then she points out, standing next to him, a little bit shorter. Barca's probably about 6'2". And then she points out, this is Regal Artemis. Stands about 5'10". Very, very kind of built like Cather. Definitely a soldier. He's got on like his uniform, which is the armor with the maroon sash. You can see that there are several like battle scars on the armor. It's well used, it's well worn. And then the sash, he actually has a maroon sash, and then he has a like royal purple sash as well, that goes over the armor as well. He's kind of squarish, I would describe. Like he has kind of a boxier head. Looks to be slightly younger, probably in his mid to late 30s compared to the other two, who are definitely in their like late 40s and 50s. But yeah, Regal gives a slight bow. Barca also gives a slight bow. Barca speaks up. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It is an honor to be of service. And then Edward will turn to Mr. Thane. I'm saying that
Mr.
right,
Thane.
right?
Yeah, Barca Thane.
Okay, good.
He's the one that just spoke.
Yes. Okay, good. And Edward will say, I carry with me knowledge for the sake of the family Thane.
Excellent. We will appreciate any information that you can give us. Also, any information on the situation in general would be excellent. We are trying to devise a plan and work here with Mrs. Zima, as she has been very insightful into some strategies that we can use.
Hey, DM.
Yes.
While Mr. Thane is speaking, Cather just
Do your thing,
squints.
Cather.
He leans forward just a little bit. Just kind of like glean a little more, read between the wrinkled lines.
Read between the wrinkles.
What kind of vibe does he get, DM?
For Barca?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an insight check for me, bud.
Hey, DM. While Cather's doing that, Evan's gonna squint his eyes. He's gonna lean in a little bit, try to glean a little bit more information about the three. Which one of these people is Miriam's significant other, or none of the above?
Oh, it's definitely the Artanis guy.
So to clarify, Miriam Azima's significant other was Hendrix Artemis, the founding
but
Artemis,
he's dead?
1,000 years ago. Yeah, he's dead.
But that, I
Jimmy.
assumed that he
Yeah.
would just be somehow alive.
No, he's
No,
long.
Jimmy. Rest in peace, Jimmy.
15 DM.
For Baraka.
Yeah.
Baraka's definitely a little bit more stoic. It's a little harder to read. Very, very bookish, a little reserved. So with that 15, he's definitely more difficult to read than the others. But it seems I'm gonna go with hard to read in general. I'm gonna say
Okay,
that
yeah,
he's
overall hard to
swing
read.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, fair enough.
I have.
Is there a final question there, Drew?
No.
I'll do it.
Uh,
Is that last guy legit? I'm gonna guess that he's the evil one.
Okay, go ahead and
That's,
roll an insight check for me.
I mean-
let me tell you.
I mean, to be
think that
fair,
it's gonna be
Catherine
like-
should not be the one rolling any of these insight checks because he only has a +1.
Yeah, dog, I've got a +8.
The insight?
Yeah,
Wow, look at you.
very insightful. I just don't care.
I mean, like whether they're evil or not, I still kind of want to kill all of them.
I crit
Aaron rolls a
28.
cared
28 off of a crit
Yeah,
of a crit.
is
Your
Artemis?
Artemis for Regal.
Yeah.
Abinthy, you squint your eyes. You lean in a little
I
closer.
pull out my reading glasses.
Take a look at Regal Thane, and you can tell that he's definitely a very proud man.
Wait,
He-
at Artanis, Rigo Artanis, right?
Oh, thank you, Regal Artemis. Thank you.
Sorry, I thought I wrote the
Uh,
names down wrong. Sorry.
No. You are correct. Regal Artemis, Baraka Thane, Julia Rain. That's not confusing at all. He's definitely not a traitor by any means, but he is the type of man to. Sometimes he can justify the means by the ends. You know, like
Uh-huh.
he's kind of like you. Honestly, you kind of look him over and you're like, this man has conviction for his cause.
I don't like him.
Fair enough.
I think that
You're
says
like-
more about me than it does about him.
Yeah, absolutely. I picked up on it.
I mean, it is kind of like one of those things, right? Like the people that you like find the most annoying are the people that remind you the most of you because you notice the things that are annoying about them the most because you do them too.
Yeah.
That's why Drew hates me.
Yeah,
It's true.
facts.
That's low key. Maybe I don't know.
Thanks, Grant.
Well, you two are brothers. I'm trying to infer anything.
Grant's like,
This is
yeah,
interesting.
I hate you too.
Yeah, I can
That's fair.
understand why people would hate you.
I can see how people could find you annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Alright.
I meant nothing but. Okay. Then Edward will say, well, first of all, it's good news, which is great, because most of the time, as
There's a
of
lot of
recent,
bad news.
There's a lot. Thank you, Kath. There are lots of bad news, but this is good news.
Yes. Why don't we all actually, before we get started, let's sit down. Would you like anything to drink? Anything to eat? This is Julia speaking. Handkerchief
Just
snack?
perhaps some water,
A
if
popsicle,
it's
maybe?
not too much trouble.
What's a
Popsicle.
What's a popsicle?
You've never had a popsicle?
It's frozen juice. It's amazing. I don't know why, but
It's
it is so good,
fantastic.
especially on hot days.
Do you have a strawberry popsicle?
We do, absolutely. We also have grape and orange, and I think somehow we got a banana flavor.
The flavor blue, because
The
that's-
flavor blue, that's right.
absolutely
Do you
the
have
flavor of those
root beer?
popsicles.
What? I don't know what root beer is. Is this something that I should start looking into? Do I need to like start stocking root beer?
Well, it's something. So like for like the
we
non.
typically don't do alcohol.
Well,
but, like,
that's the thing. It's actually not alcoholic.
oh.
Thane would know all about root beer.
I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted. So, water, popsicles. All right, give me 1 second. And she gets up, and you can tell that both Barca and Regal just kind of like lean back in their chairs because they're like, we're gonna be here for a second.
Yeah.
As Julia like takes off.
I was going to ask for mulled wine, but I guess I just won't.
She.
What was that?
She's.
What'd you want?
No, it's fine. Keep going,
The
dear.
mulled wine, please. Thank you.
Sorry. I literally just had like a whole seizure inside my brain. That was
Yeah,
What?
you
I
went
like
full
you were like
catatonic
mulled
there.
wine, and I was like, I went into the deepest recesses of my mind to try and figure out what the freak you had said.
So mulled wine. Do you know what
Yeah.
mulled wine is?
Yeah, no, I know what mulled wine is. It's like spice boiled wine. It's like
Yeah.
fancy wine.
Yeah, it's wine and you heat it, and there's normally.
But
And
was
Edward was
stone.
actually all about it. That sounded awesome.
You said that, and I had no clue what you said, and I was like, wait, something with an M, and that'd be mulled wine.
It's just like the ringing noise slowly fades in as DJ's screen
the party
goes
you have
white.
dialed is not connected.
I'm
Right.
mentally flashbanging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DJ
exactly.
DJ just blue screened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Red ring of death.
Julia disappears for a little while before coming back with a little tray that has some light refreshments. She has water for everybody. There's also a canteen of mulled wine. There's popsicles, all this different type of stuff. You know, the whole time that you guys have just kind of been sitting there in silence, like Barca and Regal have kind of done some like light talk a little bit about different things, blah, blah, blah. You guys have had like some light conversation. Julia comes back and they both kind of like look at each other before both like slyly grabbing a popsicle and beginning to open it up.
Apathy has been ripping into the dress code this whole time.
They
talking
just
their
have
ears
sat.
off. Yeah, he's like, and what is even the deal with the length regulations? Like, come
Edward
on,
looks stressed. Edward looks stressed.
you're going to look like a bunch of prudes if you don't let them go above calf.
Julia shows up. You guys get your refreshments. At which
Ah,
point,
Julia, welcome.
So why don't we get started with this? What is the
We're already going.
Yes, the good news. As of yesterday, the 4 dragons that were hunting parts of the rod. Are we calling it the rod, people?
The rod of
Yes,
Have a-
rod of 7 parts. Yes.
The rod of 7 parts. The 4 dragons in Duskfell, Varim, Rysir, Ometh, and Emra are all dead. We
Quite defeat? Well done.
managed to stop them.
And
I
the
will admit, it is a
Rod is still with the Dragonborn Leshka.
yes,
Good.
and
There
you
are
can
no-
trust Leshka. Him and Lada. So, do you know Lada?
Yes, I'm aware of Lada. Yes, absolutely.
Leshka and Lada. Well, of course you are. Leshka and Lada are now together. And where are they going?
We don't know.
People, we don't. And they are on. We don't even know where they are. Probably for the best.
Yes, I would agree. That is probably for the best. Barca will then speak up. Is this the information you had specifically for me, or is there something else as well?
This was the information that we had to offer. We have seen now. Forgive me if I'm not giving you information that I have and you don't. I assume that you are quite caught up with what's happening with Clovar. We were actually present for his resurrection.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. We were actually in his prisons, and we had to get out, and it was a whole thing. It was quite terrible. But Abinthy, thanks to his wit and some things that I just don't understand, we managed to at least, I think, stunt the resurrection in some form, it seemed. We've also talked with many of the sacrifices.
Me nods her agreement.
And Edward's just kind of trying to think.
Were you able to get to all of the sacrifices?
Not,
Obviously,
not
outside
quite.
of
We were unable to locate Marcus Steele before he had been actually captured by members of the Anathema.
Marcus has been captured.
Marcus has
We
been
just missed
captured. We also know that Clovar has recently obtained more pieces of the rod. We don't know which pieces, but we know that he has obtained some.
Who's getting closer?
Yes. On the bright side, we don't need to really protect a whole bunch of them. Or is my information incorrect?
As long as you have one, he can't control the truth. Nonetheless, as more pieces come together, the rod becomes more powerful, and so protecting one piece becomes more difficult as our enemies grow stronger. So obviously, the more that we can hold on to, the better. But if all else fails and we need to make a last stand, as long as we have one piece, then we can at least try and hold on to that.
And perhaps it is out of line for me to ask this, but is your piece of the rod still secure?
Julia will speak up. Yes, our piece of the rod is still secure. We have been going through and we've discovered. Well, I'll just say it. We've discovered several traitors in our ranks.
Oh, good.
And so
I was
we've
just going to
been-
bring that up.
I was going to bring that up too.
Excellent. We have been keeping it very close to our chest. Obviously, I mean, basically the 7 of us are the only people that know of it in the world. And so,
That's good.
yes. So we'd like to keep it that way, and we expect you to not inform anybody else of that.
Not Leshka. Cather will mentally speak to Abinthy and say, just to be safe, are you able to detect if we're being spied on right now? Do you have that capability?
I'll cast detect magic.
Okay.
Just kind of silently. I'll mutter it.
You go to cast Detect Magic, and you realize that you're under an anti-magic field.
That's a good way to not be
That's good.
detected. But also makes me feel very uncomfortable.
I mean, this is not a personal thing. We didn't do this for you. This is just, in general, here within the church, there's no magic.
Right. It's just... Right. That's good. That's good. Well, Cather kind of looks to Edward.
I'll be honest, we've been doing what we can with what we have, and it is such a relief that you are so present for this and so willing to help us, because in some ways we're at our wits' end.
Regal will speak up. You all have been doing... Oh, that's Baraka. You've all been doing an excellent job. We want you to be aware of the fact that we intend to step in from here on out. Not to take over by any means, but to assist. We appreciate the work that you have been doing. Cather, you seem...
I'm sorry. You finish your thought. I have a question for you when you're done with that. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. And so that's why we wanted to speak with you to see what it is that you wanted to try to achieve versus what we can assist you with. Obviously, together we can do quite a bit in preventing this. And the 3 of us and our heritage has dealt with Clovar before. And so we wish to help again. As for your question, Cather?
Yes, I'm... Our group has discussed many avenues that we wish to move forward. There are several different paths to try and slow Clovar down. I was curious if you had any spies within Wisteria Vale.
At one point we did. But much as we have been removing her spies, she has been removing ours.
Right, okay.
Every time that we trade pawns, we lose something.
Right. The reason
I have. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
I'm so sorry, Abinthy. the reason that I ask is, currently, we believe that Marcus is likely held within the city of Wisteria Vale, along with the goddess Adrasil. It has been at least loosely discussed within our group what might be possible in trying to free them both.
A rescue mission would be risky. Finding yourself behind enemy lines, not just behind enemy lines, deep within enemy lines, and their headquarters next to Clovar.
Right. Not a great situation for sure. But also we've been looking into what it might look like to remove Wisteria from the equation. I'm sure, Abinthy, you have some thoughts on that as well.
I do. It takes a little bit of work.
Julia will speak up. Removing Wisteria would be an excellent move. She is, as far as we are aware, she has basically replaced Atrasil as his right hand. And so by removing her, we would greatly undermine his forces. But she won't be an easy kill by any means.
Right.
Just getting her out is going to be difficult, and then actually fighting her. I mean, I'm grateful to have someone as skilled as Abinthy to take on that task, as he's one of the few mages in the world that I would believe has the caliber to do that. But he's going to need help.
I do have help. I don't want to go too deep into it.
Miriam also speaks up. If you're going after Wisteria, I would also be interested in joining that.
By all means, I'll send you a message. No offense to any of you, but as much as I trust your facility, I don't. Because you have traitors, I just really can't delve into too much. But I do have plans. Right now, here's the deal. You are going to do what you can do, and you know that we're both on the same side. We're both headed towards the same goals here. What we are sorely lacking that you can provide us is information. We have people that we're looking to take out, which will be beneficial. But right now, our struggle is knowing where they are and what exactly they're doing. For example, what is it, Rycorum? No. Who's the big one? Is that Rycorum?
Rycorum is the king of the dragons, yes.
Yes, we gotta kill that one. We have a suitable replacement for King of the Dragons. And if we're able to replace Rycorum, then it gets rid of a lot of his hunting squad. That's an example, but the problem is, how do we get to Rycorum? Killing him, preferably if we have the drop, we can do that.
We do know where his keep is.
Good.
Very good.
That's
start.
one. We're also looking to kill. Who's the demon? I'm blanking on the names.
The demon.
Asmund.
You-
Oh,
you- are you-
Baphomet? You're talking about
Baphomet. Yes.
Well,
We don't know if
haven't-
Baphomet's been seen around.
Edward raises his hand. It's like, we haven't really agreed to that, but we have some personal qualms with Baphomet.
I mean, it would also be useful. We're also looking to kill Starry. We've basically got a whole hit list. The trouble is getting to them / knowing where they are.
You can tell that Edward is getting a little uneasy talking about like a hit list, and they didn't approve this. Also, sorry about the fireworks.
Yeah.
They didn't really approve this, and he's looking a little uneasy.
To add to Abinthy's points, we are certainly willing and feel able to remove pieces from the board, perhaps helping free you and your agents to do what you do best as well. To Abinthy's point, there are places that we cannot reach, as our group is far smaller, more focused.
More mobile.
You are an
And-
excellent strike team, yes. And while we are strong, our strength lies in numbers and positions, not necessarily in our strength of individuals.
Speaking of positions, do you
I'm
have
looking to become a knight.
do you have any ranks within the Alistar dwarves?
The dwarves are tricky. The short answer is no,
That's unfortunate.
but the long answer is it's complicated. But we have communication and sway.
The reason
The reason that basically we talk to them like everybody else talks to them, and they do what they do with everybody else and make their own decision.
Right. Okay. More recently, we had sent a couple of our own allies there to assist in attempting to procure some Vostrusium, in case it would become necessary to replace one of the 6 sacrifices and prevent.
Namely, Zood's Thrim.
Yes,
Bardoth.
mainly Zood's Thrim.
Nod. We had a similar plan as well, if that were to be the case.
Oh, great. That's
Okay,
wonderful.
do you have an envoy there? Because I think we sent one of ours.
Well, yes. Well, my sister Volna Emethar is very acquainted with politics and agreed to assist in this matter, along with, I believe, Charles did, right, Edward?
Ugh,
Yes, Charles. What? Charles is wonderful.
you know
just,
what he did.
Oh, you haven't gone to know him.
Do you have quarrel,
know him
like,
better than
beef with
most.
everyone, Abinthy?
I have beef with most of the Chosen.
Charles
No
is
offense.
a member of the Chosen.
It was Charles. It was the whole time. It was Charles. Sorry.
Okay, right.
But yes, Charles has informed us of the situation, and we've actually sent members of the family Artemis to join as security.
Lovely.
And they're not traitors. You're sure of that? 100%.
Not traitors, yes.
Because if you kill Katha's sister, you're going to have a whole lot more problems than Clovar.
I would agree. That would be tragic, and we certainly have no intention of that. Those that we sent have been vetted and should be, as far as we believe, loyal.
Sounds good. So how about that info? You said you knew where the keep of Rakorum was.
Well, I guess
I'm looking for schematics. I'm looking for daily schedule. What does he eat? When does he sleep?
Well, okay, well, those details we don't have.
Ugh.
But we do know the location of the keep. It's very far north on Talira. I believe it's a country that you would be familiar with. It's within Rivaluna.
do I DM? Does that ring any bells for me as to where that might, like, precisely? be?
Rivaluna is big. You hang out on the beach a lot. There are mountains to the east of on Rivaluna that you know are very, like not a lot of people travel there because they're very temperamental and stormy.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably there.
Okay.
Honestly, I say that we that should probably be our first order of business. In my mind, we can go and try to fight advanced scouts all we want, but there's a lot more dragons than there are members of Fate's Gambit, and I'd much rather take the initiative than constantly be caught running.
Edward will also just chime in real quick and just say, we also really value your input. And he looks at Thane and says, and you know that we're willing to do pretty much anything.
Julia will she kind of like reaches across over to you, Edward, and she just puts her hand on your knee. It's okay, Edward.
Oh.
Relax. We're not gonna bite you. You don't have to be formal with us.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
We do
It's like
appreciate
juggling.
You're
Jude
fine.
is screaming right now. I worked so hard and he's done nothing.
But yes, if killing Rakorum is an excellent plan. My concern, I just want to be sure that that you're strong enough. You truly feel like you can do this.
Well, I don't know. If I were to rate us on on a very strange, arbitrary number system, let's just say like a 1 to 20, I think I'd put us at about 17.
I think
King
that
of the Dragons sounds difficult.
Well,
but if we have help,
Well-
maybe, I think.
I suppose
Well-
my question would be, how much stronger is Rykorum to Varim Rysir and his bodyguards? Because
Regal kind of chuckles. Rykorum is the king. He's a great one. He has lived thousands of years longer than his son. Rykorum is in a whole nother. It's a whole nother level.
definitely a lot stronger than Emra was.
Even stronger than Emra, yes.
The next tier above, I would say.
Yes.
Now, my main point is if we constantly dilly-dally and we keep going on and on about, oh, are we strong enough to beat this thing or not? We never will be. And since we
And
can't for
Clovar is
sure-
gaining power at the same time.
Exactly. It's like we have to fight these things eventually.
Absolutely. My question to you then is, are you familiar enough with your weaknesses that we can aid you in overcoming those? We have access to quite a large arsenal.
Well,
Well,
I will say that
I
these
mean-
two tend to struggle with things in the air, which I'm pretty good at getting them to the ground or vice versa. But I can only do it so many times.
yes.
We're
I
also
suppose
not stellar at healing, if I'll be honest. Ever since we've lost Renaya, we don't have a lot of that.
Yes, I would say our strengths are especially between myself and Kiyomura. Our group is very good at quick and dirty, to put it bluntly. If it's quick,
Shock and awe.
yes, shock and awe. There you go.
Trickery and malice.
Ooh, that's a good
If the fight prolongs for too long, or if we are unable to get in close, it makes things much more difficult very quickly.
I'm also pretty much the only one who's any good at dealing with groups. So if we get swarmed by a bunch of dragons, to be fair, I don't know anyone who's good at groups that if they're being swarmed by a bunch of dragons lives very long. But us especially, we're more of a single target focused group.
Yes.
And I just attempt to cover for the things that aren't the thing that they're attacking.
All right. Well, what I would say then is to take a few moments to think about items or abilities that you would like, and we'll see if we can provide them. Which in DM speech means figure out if you want a magic item and let me know over this next week, and we'll talk.
One
Let's
question
go.
I suppose I would have for that. How well can you enhance already existing magic items?
Just as well as any other artificer.
Great. Because one thing that I currently possess is a magical tattoo that helps embolden some of my fighting capabilities. However, it is quite limited as to how often it can assist me. If that could be empowered, that would also be greatly beneficial for myself.
Potentially. That's something Julia will be a little bit more involved. She's like, yeah, we'll have to talk to some of the artificers. I'm more of a divination type person, and so that's not exactly my specialty, but I'm sure that we'd be able to work out something or some way, potentially.
Trust me, Cather. The Chosen has the finest in any industry. And he just looks kind of proud.
I would agree with that, and except for myself. I am the only failure, as I have not managed to actually recruit Avanthi quite yet. But I'm wearing him down.
Well, have you tried not looking like a bunch of dunces? I'm just saying.
Oh boy!
You don't have to do it. I won't make
Edward
you.
pours some wine.
Look, I don't need any of your handouts. All I need is I have the equipment that I need. I just need space to work it and the time to do so.
Yeah, we did just recently acquire like a bunch of dragon parts.
Oh yeah, so much dragon stuff.
So like if any of that can be used into like anti-dragon stuff. I don't know how magic works, but like if you have like I don't know like a lance of dragon slaying or something, you know.
I mean, yeah, actually come to think of it, we can probably make some like spears
like
dragon
javelins.
armor.
focused on killing dragons. The trouble
Some
is
dragon armor?
traditionally, what type of dragon is Raikor?
I was gonna say, isn't he a red dragon?
I thought he was red.
He's not. No, right? Korum, much like
No,
his son,
it
is a sapphire.
So he is Sapphire.
Ah,
Well, that's good.
Oh, I thought red because his name starts with R.
good old red
Um,
Rycorum.
Well, I mean, then that's good. Normally, in order to create, like, insert blank of dragon slain. It's a specific subtype of dragon, so like an arrow of red dragon slain or something along those lines.
Well,
Since
we're lucky. We have
yes, we have
sapphire dragon
materials of
parts.
sapphires, so we should be able to manage with that. That's good thinking. I that just never crossed my mind. I go straight to the what can I do rather than what can we make.
Regal
Abinthy,
kind of like nods his head and goes, "Creating a weapon out of the carcass of a son. That's
It's
metal."
poetic. It's pretty
Fist
metal.
bumps,
Yes.
fist bumps, Cather.
Abinthy, you is it also possible to perhaps create some sort of coating out of that? That way, perhaps I could even have it on my blade temporarily.
Yeah, we
perhaps.
might be able to do something. Honestly, that the people who are best at this type of thing are the orcs. They are known for for using dragon parts to kill other dragons. That's it's a fascinating process. So I may stop down by them. I'm sure that Grima, not Grima. What's his? I want to say Grima Wormtongue, but that's
I was
from Lord
thinking
of the
that
Rings.
That was,
Say
yes,
too.
yeah.
Whatever his name, the wretched
It's
worm.
like Gore something.
Yeah,
Gorza?
something
I
like
don't
that.
remember.
Gorza.
Gorza.
There we go.
Good job, Drew.
I'm proud of.
And
I'm proud
Grant.
of you too.
I
You did great.
Yeah, I loosened it.
Um,
it.
Yeah, Gorza almost definitely knows a lot about creating things out of dragon guts and blood and bone and stuff like that. It's all very grisly.
And I always love visiting the orcs if I get a reason to.
Indeed.
And it is perhaps a good idea just to check in since to
Yes,
see how
we
they're
do
doing.
need to make sure that it's also how they're doing. How
Hard cut. There's like
everything that they're
dragons
protecting.
and like an army, and they're like fighting. We must
we-
protect
The end of the world is here!
Yeah, it's just like orcs fight like zombies from World War Z. Like where the dragons
pile
like,
up on top of
a
each other and
cliff,
overwhelm
the
you.
Orcs are just like and just like climb up the wall and just
It's-
overwhelm them like an ocean.
Yeah, and it's like in like I don't know, Aaron. I think you've referenced this scene before, but like there's like a Bollywood movie where like there's like a bunch of like
Yes.
like knights who create like a barrel like they circle up with their shields and then they launch themselves
with
like
with coconut trees.
yeah.
Bollywood fighting is exactly how orcs fight. That is canon. That
Nice.
is exactly it like defies logic and reason, and that is how the orcs do it.
But it seems like we are forming a plan. So I think we should move forward with what we have. We will continue on our front and weaseling out our traders and then aiding where we can. While we do this, you will prepare some weapons before going to strike at Raikorum.
Yes.
That sounds good to me. Show me to a workshop, and I shall begin my work. You two, I don't know, visit the storage room, see if you see anything that you like. Buy yourself something pretty.
I also have some friends that I'll visit probably.
Yes, make sure that none of them are traitors first.
Well, okay.
Traitors are bad. We don't like traitors.
No traitors. Traitors bad.
All right.
See a traitor, it's bad.
But thank you for your time, and I'm sure we will all see each other again soon.
I can only hope. Maybe you'll be wearing something better the next time. I just
can
leave. I don't even
only
ask for directions.
imagine
You
what
guys
my life
kind of split
would
up
be.
at this point. Abinthy, you're led to a workshop. Cather, Kiamura are led to storehouses and the weapon and the armory. Edward, I don't know where you want to go. Do you want to go to the armory or do you want to go to the workshop?
Edward will go to the gift shop.
Edward goes to the gift shop. He gets a couple coins, some
A
stamps,
bobblehead.
stickers,
A bobblehead, yeah, of
bottle
Thane.
opener.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, wow, he looks so bookish.
but with you guys getting everything ready to go after Raikorum, we're gonna go ahead and end tonight's session right here. Nice, good job, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys so much. I thought this was good. You guys did a good job today. So
You too,
You did a
DM.
fantastic. This was a very
I
entertaining
pictured
episode.
I had a scene where like Abinthy enters his workshop and then like closes the door and then just like puts headphones on. It's like insane music while he
No.
works.
He takes his headphones out
Because this entire time he's not listened to a thing anyone else said.
He's just been reading
metal
everyone's
music
lips.
the whole time.
But we will be back in a couple of weeks. Next week, stop in to see what Aaron and Grant get up to for the stream.
Oh
knows?
boy.
It may be
don't know.
nothing.
It might be
Honestly,
nothing. Don't be surprised if there's nothing.
I'm playing with the idea of DMing for
I'm in.
just Aaron, but we'll see.
All right.
Also, I will be live on Thursday, assuming that nothing goes wrong and I don't like sleep in too late, and then I have stuff to do and I have to go like help my family and stuff. And but if you want to know, stay in touch with the Discord, because that's where I tell people whether or not I'm going live. So
Grant and Aaron serial tier list. I love it.
I'm in.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I just did a serial tier list on
First-
my channel, Philo Grant, PHILO Grant on
First thing to come to your mind
Twitch.
for S tier.
Well, what's S tier?
Oh, easy.
Oh, first thing to come to your mind.
Good
for an S tier.
mornings. Are you kidding me?
Good morning.
waffle
That's what you're
crisp.
putting on the S tier.
Yes. Yes. I watch the VOD, bro. It's on my channel. Okay.
Mine is even lamer because I'm pretty sure that it's just honey bunches of oats with almonds.
Wow. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it
Nice.
slaps, bro.
Well, we will be back in a couple of weeks to do this, the main campaign again. In the meanwhile, good luck and Godspeed, Dungeoneers. We will see you next time. Have a great rest of your night.
See you, everybody.